importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other tokens are languishing, the Divvy token price has increased 300%. Now's the time to make the switch to Divvy, or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
We've made significant progress wiring the nation's schools for the internet, but we have to do more. Every child in America should have an internet-capable computer in their bedroom at home, preferably with a high-resolution webcam. I have been to children's chat rooms and have been shocked and disappointed to find they are frequently empty. Even when these youngsters do manage to find their way online, they lack the skills to do something as simple as pinpoint their location on Google Maps. I long for the day when someone can log onto the Nickelodeon Under 13 chat room and type, "Hey, any kids in here like to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? I have a Nintendo at my house," and be overwhelmed with instant messages. Then I'll know we're doing our job supporting technology in this country.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in. Toll free. Bring up what you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And Free Talk Live is brought to you by helpmetakebitcoin.com. You ready to start taking cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash over on your local business? Maybe you have a brick and mortar location where customers come to you, or maybe you're a service provider. You go to your customers. Either way, the folks over at helpmetakebitcoin.com can make it super easy. And, by the way, free to accept cryptocurrency, meaning that they don't take a cut from the amount that comes in, which is way different than credit card companies. So go to helpmetakebitcoin.com to get started there. Sign up's easy. There's no ID required, no paperwork, no hoops that you got to jump through with governments or banks or anything like that. They make it easy, and their apps are available for iOS, Android, or any web browser. Just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts about what you want. We're recapping briefly here. There's news, I guess, about the Incel guy who ran down close to a dozen innocent people. Apparently 16 counts of attempted murder. 10 of those people perished in his attack on April 23rd.
Well, that would be 6 counts of attempted murder and 10 counts of murder.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. 16 counts. So he must have injured another 16 in addition to the 10.
Oh, wow. So he managed to
murdered.
hurt 26 people?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you get a car going fast enough, you could. I'd never thought about it.
Yeah, and in this case, he actually rented the van. It was a rental from Ryder Rentals, so it wasn't even his own van. He just rented a van.
It sounds as bad as these attacks on schools that have occurred
it's
in
horrible.
theaters and things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, 16, that's one short of Lakeland, I believe.
Is that right?
There's 17
Parkland or
killed
whatever?
at Lakeland. That's the one that
Parkland,
or Parkland. Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, the one that horrible kid came from.
What's his name? David somebody or whatever his name is?
Hogg.
Yeah, that's
Hogg.
him.
Boss
That's him.
Hogg.
Yep.
I mean, out of curiosity, what kind of publicity has this gotten? Just because I know the shootings always get tons and tons of
It got
publicity.
some. I mean, the day, the day of. I don't know how. I mean, it probably lingered in Toronto for a little bit longer, but it certainly wasn't on the national memory in the United
That's
States.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it didn't get more coverage because
I'm not.
The
was just a van.
involvement,
Yeah.
but the involvement of misogyny still gives it something for the left's narrative.
Because the
Well, that's
left's
a good point.
narrative is
You know,
to
white
attack.
men bad. I'm sure he was a white guy.
But there's plenty of gun
I don't know
attacks.
why.
There's plenty of attacks with guns and things of that nature that they don't need to,
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Well, it was also outside the United States, so it doesn't fit the America bad narrative.
okay. Fair enough.
You may be right. He may be Armenian. I mean, he's white, but he kind of has a bit of a maybe a bit of a Middle Eastern.
See, that's what my
to him.
dad looks like. He looks like a darkish Arab.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to walk around here, you can take a look at this guy's photograph. And he doesn't look like a dark Arab in any way, shape, or form, but he does kind of have that, he does kind of have a slight Middle Eastern look to him, I would say. Yeah, you're acknowledging that.
Yeah, very slight.
So anyway, but where he's from doesn't matter. What matters is what he has to say. And in his case, he seems satisfied with what he did, saying that his mission was accomplished, and says that he was part of a forum on 4chan with incels. Manation said he had a contact with a killer in California who was angry at women who had rejected him. He stands accused of driving a rental van into crowds of pedestrians in a busy North Toronto neighborhood. 8 women and 2 men, ranging in age from 22 to 94, died. Ran down a 94-year-old lady.
Good Lord.
Manation has yet to enter a plea.
For not having sex with him. That's frightening.
His trial begins in February, but a publication ban on his interrogation by police was lifted today. The police interview took place just hours after the attack. Manation, who said he never had a girlfriend and was a virgin, again, he was 26 or is 26 at this time, acknowledged he used the van as a weapon and said he wanted to inspire more attacks. He said, quote, "I know of several other guys over the internet who feel the same way." But he added that they are, quote, "too cowardly to act on their anger." Manation calls himself an incel, short for involuntarily celibate. The incel movement is an online subculture linked to the deadly attack in Toronto as well as attacks in California and Florida. It promotes the misogynistic idea that men are entitled to have sex with women.
Well, that's maybe kind of it, but to me, the whole existence of the incel community just illustrates that if you don't have any human connection, you're going to go nuts. And that's true for anybody, male or female. I mean, it's
You're saying that's not true?
I think that's a little that stretches it a little bit. I mean,
There may be some
lots of people
exceptions.
who are celibate, and I'll put that in quotes because they're younger guys who may not necessarily have They don't have the experience yet. If you know what I mean.
No, we're not
They're
just
not
talking
going
about.
off
Wait a minute, we're not just talking about sex here. We're talking about intimacy. We're talking about the idea that humans need to have some level of contact with other humans. There may be the occasional psychopath.
Sure,
who
but
doesn't.
There's a difference between having sex with people and having contact, some sort of physical contact.
I know there's a difference. I'm telling you, this is a conversation that we're having about intimacy now, because he was talking about just contact. You weren't just talking about sex.
I mean, yeah, and when I say human contact, I mean the thing is, without sex, most people get intimacy only from sexual partners in our culture. Men. Now, women, they hug, they touch, they express concern about each other. Mm-hmm. Men don't do that. So if you don't have any sort of a romantic contact in your life as a man, it's quite likely that everything you encounter is cold, hard, and sharp. You know, and every once in a while you need something warm or soft in your life.
Well, this is why I thought the advent several years ago of the professional cuddler or the professional snuggler was an interesting development, because it was sort of a halfway point between prostitute and, nothing. Right, so instead of trying to get around the prostitution laws, there are women and men who will charge a certain hourly rate in order to allow another person to come and basically spoon with them, essentially.
Yeah.
And
so, I mean, all right. So here's another question, right? Like, I think when I think of, contact, like, I understand, like, if you put somebody in a room and they don't get to speak to any other human being and have any any kind of connection, I can understand that driving somebody
solitary
insane,
confinement,
right?
and it is considered torture generally.
But not to have intimate, sexual relations seems to be, it doesn't seem to me to be the same thing. I mean, but the other thing is,
it's not the same thing.
Right, but it doesn't seem like that would drive you insane, it shouldn't drive you
not
to
as quickly
commit, serious crime.
But
now, I could definitely see.
Literally, imagine being a person who's never had a caring relationship with another person. What attachment do you have to the rest of the human race? Why should you love your neighbor when your neighbor does not love you?
I mean, I think there's an argument to be said about being able to get up and go out there and have, communicate with people, but going to the store and buying something is communicating with people too.
But that's not a connection, you know?
I certainly agree it's not a connection.
We'll continue here in moments. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can share your thoughts. Are you an incel? Are you a MGTOW? Is there a difference? If so, tell us about it. Coming up. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here, bring up whatever you want. We're talking about, once again, the Incels, a group of people that exist online, obviously exist in real life as well, but it's the real life part that they have failed at, or they would, I'm sure, argue has failed them. That they have not been able to successfully have an intimate relationship with a member of the opposite sex, and they all appear to be males, so it seems to be males frustrated over their inability to have sex with a woman, and they seem to blame other people who have sex, whether they be male or female. They one of them ran down ran down 24 people in a Toronto street, just rolling up on a sidewalk and running into a crowd of people, including somebody as old as 94 years old, dead. 10 of them died, 16 injured. And I actually pulled up another story. The first one I had was from the Metro in the UK. This one's from the Guardian in the UK. They get a little more into a little more depth about the police interview that they conducted with him. So this interview was conducted in early 2018, or in the first half of 2018 when they first arrested him, but they've just now unsealed it.
Okay.
So now the media can get a hold of it. And by the way, with you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
Coming up, we'll talk about the right to be forgotten. What does that mean? We'll explain it and find out what the latest news is about that. But first, let's talk to Olivia. She's in Arizona watching us on YouTube. Sorry for the late start. I forgot to start the video feeds tonight until the first segment was over. So, Olivia, you're with us now. Go ahead.
Hey, nobody. Hey, Ian. Hey, Chris.
Hi.
I have to ask something. I really called in to talk about the whole incel problem, but
Sure.
I have to ask, what happened to the blue feather bracelet? Like, this bothers me every night. Like, what happened to it?
You're talking about... So this is something that only video viewers would understand. There are some feathered bracelets on my mic arm here. If you are watching the video feed, you can see the mic arm has...
I thought those were garters or
I've
something.
never even noticed them.
No, they're slap bracelets. And
Slap bracelets?
Slap bracelets.
Wow.
Remember,
that was like a 90s thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you might not have had them when you were a kid. Nobody. They're little... let's see, what do they got inside there? There's basically the sort of tape measurer kind of material.
Yeah, it's like a strip of metal or something.
Yeah, it's like a tape measurer kind of material. So when you hit it on your wrist, it sort of wraps around your wrist. basically,
okay.
is what you do. So it's a bracelet. That's what it is. And they're fuzzy and they're very outrageously colored. The ones that are here are purple and yellow. And I acquired these years ago for Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party. It was a dance party that they used to have at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And the whole idea behind the Big Gay Dance Party is a bunch of straight people get together with a sprinkling of actual gay people in the festival.
That's true.
And they gay out as much as they possibly can.
We're fabulous.
Yeah, it's a date.
I think a lot of the straight people actually gay out more than the gay people.
Oh, yeah.
So, one of the things that I had done previously was attend raves with a couple of my ex-girlfriends, and there's like a thing at a lot of the raves where people will give out bracelets. Sort of what they call candy bracelets, not actually candy that you eat, but that's just what they call them. It's candy with a K. Anyway, they're like beaded bracelets, basically. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of adjusted that for the Big Gay Dance Party, and I bought a bunch of these slap bracelets.
I didn't even know they still made them.
Yep, some Chinese manufacturer is still cranking them out. But I got the most flamboyant kind because there's just normal looking slap bracelets that don't have all the fuzziness on them.
Right.
So I got the most flamboyant, most gay ones.
They're definitely the gayest bracelets I've ever seen.
And so I went around, right? So I would come with them all up and down my arms, like my forearms, and then anybody that was dressed in a appropriate fashion. If you're just wearing your normal clothes, I wasn't going to offer it to you. But if you were dressed for the occasion for the Big Gay Dance Party, I would offer you your choice of colors. And so that's the history behind this little piece of our studio. And where did the blue one go? Honestly, I don't know, Olivia. That's a really long answer. A really long answer to your question.
No, that was a great answer. I loved it. That makes it even more interesting. But now it's a mystery. Anyways, but thank you. But I wanted to talk about this incel thing because. Yeah. If you were the kind of person who is that entitled and that violent that you would even consider actually doing this, if you think that you're not giving out those terrifying vibes that just drive people away, you are delusional. People can pick up on that. And yes, they're going to shun you even more, right?
Well, very few of them are violent. Most of them just kill themselves.
Oh, I see.
Or complain on the internet.
It's just every once in a while a suicidal person is angry enough to want to take some with him.
Well, and also you have to ask the question, if Toronto has had legal guns and it doesn't because it's Canada, how long would this guy have been able to plow through the crowd before somebody was able to pull out a gun and actually defend the crowd?
I don't know if that would be very appropriate in the context of a car accident. I mean, unless he just... I think that would be a very hard attack to defend against.
It would be.
Gun.
I mean, a gun against a vehicle like that. I mean, you shoot, you might not even hit the guy.
Yeah, you might,
considering that it's going at you at who knows, God knows how many miles per hour.
Yeah. Well, obviously, jumping out of the way is probably the best thing that you could do.
Yeah.
If you know, and I agree with you.
The best thing you can do is jump out of the way, roll to your feet with a firearm, and put 2 in his chest and 1 in his head. But most people can't do that.
I mean, you're shooting at you're shooting at there's something a barrier in the way between you and him, no matter what. So I don't know. It seems hard for me to believe that you're going to have.
There may not be a barrier in between you and him. I mean,
in this case,
just be a glass windshield.
Yeah, well,
but a glass windshield is also
really difficult to talk abstractly about a tactical situation because the situation could be anything.
Right.
I mean, it could be rolling down a sidewalk. It could be.
We don't know how long it took this attack. It probably
true.
wasn't very long, but if you're on the other end of the sidewalk and he starts his attack on the opposite end of the sidewalk and he's coming your way, you may have enough time to draw an aim and fire.
Maybe. Maybe.
But it's going to be your best off in that situation if you have a Laws rocket.
I suspect that even if there was time to shoot, you probably wouldn't hit the guy because you got a car.
See, a Laws rocket, you really don't have to.
Yeah, it's true.
It depends. It depends. I mean, some people have different levels of their aiming ability and skill, and the ability to fire.
And different levels of tolerance for collateral damage.
Maybe there are people out there like that, and I'm not saying there aren't, but I suspect your average, gun owner probably doesn't have the skill to pull that off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the average person has as far as skill. Olivia, other comments on incels?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing. I just feel like this goes so much deeper than just feeling rejected. Here in Arizona, they have a bunch of massage parlors that are open late at night, and I don't mean to insinuate anything, but I just feel like if you wanted to do the professional cuddling thing, you probably could. But I did want to mention, like, this just makes me think of these forced marriages in other countries where these boys are raised and they're coddled their whole lives, like the son is, kind of the prize of the family, and then they get married to these girls they don't even know, and they beat them, they abuse them, and they have as much sex as they want because they can take it whenever they want.
But they're still not happy.
The woman has to, and they're still not happy because the problem is within. The woman, her whole job is taking care of him, giving him whatever he wants, and he's still not happy.
See, I would say
I just feel like that's this.
I would say this is the opposite of those guys, though. These are the guys that nobody ever cared for. Nobody ever loved. They said everybody is good enough to deserve love except you. You guys, you're awful. You're nerds. And most of them, if you actually talk to them, you'll find they've got a long history of forming deep, intimate friendships with women that never turn into sexual relationships. So they're sexually unattractive.
But isn't that what a prostitute's for? I mean, this just seems ridiculous to say that
a prostitute is
never
not
had
providing
sex.
is not providing actual love. A prostitute is providing love substitute. That doesn't
now,
work
wait a minute.
for
Is this
everybody.
about love or is this about sex?
Oh, it's about love. Sex is just incidental.
We'll continue here. Olivia, I don't know if you have more to say. If you do, you can stand by. If not, no big deal. 855-450-FREE, up to you. 855-450-3733, because they're acting like it's about the sex. More coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. It's the show where you can bring up what you want. And if you're familiar with the Incel community, we definitely want to hear from you. Is it about intimacy? Or is it about sex? The media certainly wants you to believe it's about sex. I think you may be right, Nobody, that this is about intimacy. This is about
If it was about sex, they'd become rapists. They'd just take it. You can take sex. You can't take love.
That's true.
Interesting thought.
So we're going to continue. Olivia is on the line with us here. She's in Arizona, and she wanted to weigh in on all this. So I guess you've got more to say. Go ahead, Olivia.
I just had a couple of more things to say. There's so many resources out there, especially with the internet now, to help people. You have to be a valuable person. You have to provide value to other people. You have to be lovable in the first place. And if you don't know how to do that, there's so many resources. But I hope it's cool if I just give a shout out. This is a pretty famous website, but if you need somebody to talk to anonymously for free, 24/7, there's a website called 7 Cups, like the number 7 cups, like you drink out of a cup. It's a pretty awesome website. So if you just need somebody to talk to who's probably going through something too.
Are they really therapists? Are they like just volunteers who are willing to chat? Or what makes this different from like a chat room or something? Are these trained people?
They do have therapists that you can pay for, but it's going to be expensive. Mm-hmm. I think that the people who it's a volunteer thing, but I think if you're going to volunteer to work on 7 Cups, it's probably more geared towards relationships and trauma and that sort of thing versus a chat room is full of trolls and
Okay. So you're likely to find somebody compassionate on the other end, is what you're saying, if you go to the 7 Cup site?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So it's peer counseling is, I think, what they call that. Would you characterize that? Okay. That actually sounds like it may well be a good thing. Yeah, I've actually interviewed a couple of these guys because I was
the incels. Or the peer counselors.
Incels. I was really curious about that.
Olivia, thanks for the call tonight. Definitely appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. So if you're just tuning in, Toronto police have released their interview, 4-hour-long interview with Alec Manation. He is the man who ran his rental van into approximately 26 people, killing 10 of them.
Allegedly.
They pulled him out of it, so I'm pretty sure that it was him that did it. He's admitted to it as well. He's proud of what he did. In the nearly 4-hour interview, according to The Guardian, after his arrest, Manation told police officers he is a virgin who has never had a girlfriend, admitting to using the van as a weapon and saying he wanted to inspire more attacks, saying he felt like he accomplished his mission. When he was asked how he felt, Manation will be tried in February on 10 charges of first-degree murder, 16 counts of attempted murder. The video and transcripts of the interview were made public recently after an Ontario judge lifted the ban on publicizing these things. Families of the victims were shown the video before it was released to the public. During the meandering discussion with Detective Rob Thomas, Manation said he belongs to an online subculture of sexually frustrated men and described his path toward radicalization, saying he drew inspiration from other men who had used violence as a form of retribution for, quote, being unable to get laid, unquote. So apparently that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether that's what it's really about, whether it's about something more
and I think
emotional.
I think that's part of it because, like I said, most of these guys, the things that they'll talk about all the time is friend zone, being in the friend zone, and
that's
so
the place where a woman puts a potential suitor that she's not really interested in. Right?
Well, not just that, but then proceeds to have a long, drawn out, generally emotional relationship with that guy while she's having a sexual relationship with the guy she wants.
With the bad boy.
But the guy she wants is running away from her as fast as he can because that's why she wants him.
Yeah.
This all comes back to her daddy issues. So he won't give her what she wants.
I mean, isn't that a tease?
She's crying on the other guy's shoulder saying, why won't he love me? Why won't he love me? And he's thinking, well, why won't you love me? And then we can resolve this whole thing.
But it doesn't work that way.
Imagine going through that throughout your life.
Over
and over again.
Wow.
And then season that with the women who get into the same sort of situation, but rather than exploiting the guy for emotional comfort, exploits him for money, exploits him for rides, exploits him for whatever he can get away with, and leads him on with maybe someday, but not. Have you ever seen the On the Hook episode of How I Met Your Mother?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, they talk
a comedy
about
show?
Yeah, it's a comedy show. Used to be very popular, and they have one episode where they go through this whole group of characters, and each and every one of them is on somebody's hook. Where they have this one person in their life that will call them, and they'll just come running,
to it. Yep.
and that person will just use them and then move on.
Okay,
I know
thanks.
one of the guys finally had enough because he fell asleep in the snow waiting for this woman to come home and do something with him. He's sitting on her stoop in the snow, and she just steps over him and goes inside while he's asleep. When she comes home, she doesn't even wake him up. She leaves him in the snow. And so there's more to it. They want to put a feminist thing on this, that these are just bad men who hate good women, and that's not really how it is. Anytime you start hearing, penis bad, vagina good, it's kind of like 2 legs bad, 4 legs good. It's an oversimplification.
Absolutely.
Sure.
If you want to comment, you can join us here. 855-450-FREE. Does this exist in the gay world, Chris?
No.
There's not lonely gay men?
I don't think so. I would be highly think of it for your own sexual interests, Ian, because gay men are not that different from straight men. They're going to hump anything that moves, pretty much.
I won't address that insinuation, but
that doesn't mean that they're getting to, right? Just because you're saying gay men
the
are as
thing
equally
is,
as horny.
2 desperate guys can hook up with each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
the gay men don't have this this idea that they have to conserve themselves or reserve themselves for that single relationship someday.
I don't know if that's what these guys are saying.
Thing. Most of these guys, if you I don't know about most. I've talked to a few of them, but they're like they don't want to just have sex. They want to get married, settle down,
But they can't even get past step 1, which is to get a date.
Exactly. Or they can get 100 dates and pay for them, but it never goes past a friendship.
He said to the police, quote, "I consider myself a supreme gentleman." Now, if you're familiar, that was what they referred to this killer in California as. I forget his name, Elliot something or
and
other.
he probably said something similar.
Yeah, I think he may have referred to himself in that way, and so his followers.
That's one of the keys to it.
I have to wonder if maybe these people's standards are just too high. I mean, for
well, a lot of it is these people's standards originally. If you listen, because they're also very hateful toward promiscuity, hookup culture. Most of the time, I mean. On the one hand, they want to participate in it, but on the other hand, they want to be a virgin and marry a virgin and stay with that person for the rest of their life. And that's not an appropriate desire anymore. in our world.
Not likely.
So, occasionally it happens. So these guys who learned all their life that was the virtuous, the gentlemanly way to live are just like, well, what's the point of my life now? Because I can't have a family, and I won't have a family, and I won't have anything. I'm just going to get old and die alone.
So there's like,
and I guess I have some sympathy for that because I felt that way a long time after my wife died.
So it almost sounds like it's a connection to religious extremism.
I don't know about religious extremism, but
well, sir, don't you think that
definitely
not having
social
sex before,
conservatism?
Don't you think not having sex before marriage is religious extremism? Because I would
not
put that
necessarily.
in that
you have people. I know atheists who say you shouldn't have sex before marriage, and
I mean, if you're willing to go out there and kill people because of your particular religious beliefs, that seems, which is what they're doing. I think this isn't religious. It's got a religious connotation here. Even if it went back to, even if religious beliefs were part of the cause, you're talking about, that's going to be obscured under, X number of years of trauma.
Yeah, I mean, this guy isn't.
So that's not how they're looking at it, even if we think from the outside that that's the root cause of their problem.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say it's religious extremism that there's this belief that people only want to have sex after marriage. That's sort of like a standard Christian belief.
It doesn't make it not extremism.
For Christians, it's not extreme.
I would agree. They think it's not, but I think from just a larger perspective, it is.
Well, yeah, most people would agree that it's sensible to have sex with a person before you decide whether or not you want to have a partnership with them for the rest of your life. I mean, that just seems insane. More coming up here. 855, 450, free like freedom. We got more of the interview with the Incel guy on the way.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission. Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.62, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,022. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, A French model scout alleged to have provided Jeffrey Epstein with minor victims has fled to Brazil as the first official investigation into one of the pedophile's closest associates is underway, according to a report from the Daily Mail. The report states that officials in Paris are investigating model scout Jean-Luc Brunel on charges of rape and sexual assault for crimes that he allegedly committed on French soil, as well as one he may have committed in other countries involving French citizens. Police began their probe shortly after receiving a letter from a former Dutch model who said that Brunel spiked her drink and then raped her in his apartment just days after the teenager moved to Paris and signed with his agency. According to Brunel's accuser, she urged authorities to look into Brunel even though the statute of limitations has run out on her specific claims. Karen Models, which Brunel hasn't been with for a decade, was raided last week by authorities, according to the report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. As audiences eagerly await the new Joker film, authorities in the United States have sounded the ominous alarm about what they fear may be in store for moviegoers flocking to theaters to catch the premiere on October 4th. A possible mass shooting committed by Incels, or involuntary celibates. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Tuesday, the U.S. Army confirmed that it had widely distributed an advisory to service members about a potential mass shooting during the theatrical release of Joker. According to Stripes, a U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command was issued Monday, warning commanders at U.S. Army Fort Sill in Oklahoma that a law enforcement agency in Texas, working with the FBI, had uncovered disturbing and very specific chatter in the dark web regarding the targeting of an unknown movie theater during the release date on October 4th. U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command Chief of Public Affairs, Chris Gray, said the source of the original information was the Texas Department of Public Safety Joint Crime Information Center. Dr. Bronner's, the organic soap company famous for its charitable efforts, has recently announced a massive donation to an organization in Oregon that's working to legalize psychedelic mushroom-assisted therapy. CEO David Bronner made the announcement at an event in Portland last week, which was held at the Newmark Theater and featured the mycologist and psilocybin advocate Paul Stamets. The Mind Unleashed reports that Bronner announced that his company will be donating $150,000 to the Oregon Psilocybin Service Initiative, a group working on a ballot initiative for the legalization of mushroom-assisted therapy. If the ballot initiative is successful, Oregon residents will have the ability to vote on the measure in the November 2020 election. Denver was the first municipality in the United States to decriminalize possession of psychedelic mushrooms, and the organizers of that successful initiative are working to implement the same strategy in other cities and states. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. Starbucks begins its sinister Phase 2 of operation. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After a decade of aggressive expansion throughout North America and abroad, Starbucks suddenly and unexpectedly closed its 56,423 worldwide locations today to prepare for what insiders call Phase 2 of the company's long-range plan. Cynthia Valcant, Starbucks head of marketing, made this brief statement at a press conference earlier today.
We have enjoyed furnishing you with coffee-related beverages and are excited about the important role you play in our future plans.
Existing Starbucks franchises across the nation have been shuttered with high-strength titanium, and the well-known Starbucks logo has been slightly altered to present the familiar mermaid figure as a cyclopean mermaid whose all-seeing eye forms the apex of a world-spanning pyramid. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. You're invited to join us here, whether you want to talk about the Incels, which is apparently a group of, I imagine, 99.9% men. I don't know if there are any female incels out there.
I think if there were female incels, they would probably find a male incel and solve their problem.
So we're talking about it because the guy who ran down 24 people in the streets of Toronto with a rented Ryder truck, or van rather, is the interview that the police conducted with him back in 2018, right after the incident, has finally been released. The judge lifted the ban on being able to distribute that information, and that is now being analyzed by news media. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian
and Chris.
And nobody.
We'll continue with your calls and thoughts on the incels. But coming up, Chris, you're going to be telling us about the right to be forgotten and where that's happening and what the latest is with that. Longtime listeners will probably recall it's Europe, but we'll tell you more about what it is here coming up in just a moment. But over at theguardian.com, they're kind of doing a quick rundown of what happens in this interview with the police, where the man who was the murderer in this case, who has admitted to doing it, Alec Menashian, he in what is described as a meandering discussion, said he belonged to an online subculture of sexually frustrated men and described his path toward radicalization, saying he drew inspiration from other men who had used violence as a form of retribution for, quote, being unable to get laid. Clad in a white prison jumpsuit, Menashian told police his interactions with women left him embarrassed and angry. He described a Halloween party in 2013, which was 5 years prior to the incident, so he would have been 19. He's 26 now, so he probably would have been 19 or 20, because this happened in earlier 2018. So probably would have been about 19, 20 years old. And he said he described this party as he tried to speak with young women, but was often ignored or laughed at. He said, quote, I was angry that they would give their love and affection to obnoxious brutes.
Mm-hmm.
Referring to maybe like your typical jocks.
Referring to toxic masculinity, the kind of men that women like.
Yeah. And a friend at Toronto's...
That's the thing. All these women who are screaming... Well,
right.
all these people screaming about toxic masculinity, they're dating cops and football players.
Let's go to Vaginatarian. She may have an opinion on this matter. She's on our Discord server. Go ahead. Calling from Florida.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
I honestly think nobody's onto the right track there. The women are definitely dating the football players and the more alpha males, if you will. But I think just as the same as these incels are on their own side of the spectrum, there's women on their side too, like the women who say kill all men, or like any man is bad and believe only women when it comes to rape. Like they have just as much resentment towards men in their own right as these incels have towards women.
Mm-hmm. And the amazing thing to me is that the conscious desires of the women align with the desires of the incels, but yet the subconscious desires of the women align with the desires of the football players and the cops. So it's really a strange, and that's why they end up having these deep friendships. But somehow, this guy doesn't sound like somebody that had a lot of deep friendships with women. No. But that's a common refrain is, it's like listening to somebody talk about their ex-girlfriend, but it's their ex-non-girlfriend.
I think it's less common with incels than we might believe. I think the incel community is less a community of friend-zoned guy than it is similar to communities of these shooters that write manifestos. Like, there is deep-seated resentment, not just towards women, but like all of society. And that's why you have, I think, such a, I don't want to say like a phenomenon of incels that are also going around killing people like needlessly. But I think that there's a lot of commonalities between the two sort of online communities.
What do these guys, I mean, from your perspective, Vaginitarian, what should these guys do? I mean, if there's somebody out there listening to us considers themselves an incel or on the borderline of becoming an incel, they're jaded, they're angry at their failures with women, do they need to become what they describe here as the Chad? They describe these males who are having active sex lives. Do they need to hit the gym? Do they need to become the bad boy and be mean and nasty towards women? I mean, what's going to help these guys?
They need to start shooting dope.
They need to start looking for more kinky women.
No, seriously. That would get them past it,
Shooting dope?
Yes. Because if you shoot dope, you can always get sex. It may not be it's going to be maybe
high risk.
Maybe not explicit prostitution, but and that's the thing. It would probably be okay if they didn't know they were paying for it.
But wait a minute, they are. I mean, look. So at first he said in the interview that it was about sex, but then later he does admit that he was angry that these girls would give their love and affection to obnoxious brutes.
Exactly.
So you were onto something earlier.
The reason they fixate on the sex is that's the one part of, or at least I think in the case of those that are of friend zone origin stories, the reason they fixate on the sex is because that's the only thing missing in their relationships with these women.
If they have them.
They get everything but sex because the other guy doesn't want it, but he gets the sex. And that's why they fixate on the sex.
I don't understand why they don't just hire the prostitute then. If they're having everything else but the sex, hire the prostitute, problem solved.
Because it's not the same. Because it's not going to be a stable relationship. She's not going to marry you.
But
She's
you've already
going to
got
marry
the stable
Chad.
friend relationship that you supposedly wanted.
Well, eventually she's going to marry this guy, or she's going to move on to another guy who says, "Oh, I don't want you hanging out with him." So it's not like it's a permanent option.
Yeah, but what relationship?
It's an unstable situation.
What relationship these days is all that permanent? I mean, the divorce rate is super high.
In theory.
I mean, so theoretically, like, you probably are going to get divorced anyway, so it's not even going to last.
I want to get to Vaginitarian's recommendations here. I mean, I don't know how many of these guys there are out there, but there's a community of them online. They're not uncommon, I would guess. But what do they do? Is it hopeless?
I don't think it's hopeless, but I think if you're a young man that's angry online because of the way your life is going, that the first step you need to do is get offline and then ask yourself what you actually want out in life, and then do what you need to do in order to do that. Like, take some personal responsibility, and going to the gym definitely couldn't hurt. Like, that's going to help anybody who's so angry and depressed.
I mean,
you don't want to wander around looking like David Hogg.
I mean, that's assuming that these guys aren't, in great shape or whatnot. Or there is something.
I would imagine in general they're not, because women are just as shallow as men.
I mean,
so if they were in great shape,
sure, but it may not be in a lot of cases, it may not be something that these people can fix, their particular looks. It may not be the physical exercise. It may be some other deformity or unusual.
It could be
grab
ugly,
yourself a gallery. Grab yourself a gallery of mass shooters. One thing you'll notice about them, they're all funny looking. Well, what are you going to go through if you're funny looking in this life? You're going to be made fun of from birth till death. Nobody will love you. Nobody will be interested in you. So of course you're going to be outraged at the world. Frankenstein's the actual book by Mary Shelley is the Frankenstein's monster is articulate. He's intelligent. He is caring.
But he's ugly.
But he's ugly because he's been reassembled from parts, and so he's miserable. His only friend is this blind man, who can't see him, and so he brings stuff to the blind guy, and the blind guy. So the thing is, being unattractive Well, basically, I think it's one of the reasons that suicide should be legal.
Wow.
Vaginitarian, thank you for weighing in. Do you have more you wanted to say on the topic?
No, right, thanks.
Good call. Thanks for making it here tonight. Appreciate that. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We've got time for you if you want to weigh in here on the incel problem. What's the solution? It's not suicide, so there's got to be something else. Maybe it is prostitution or professional snugglers or just going gay. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years. With experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free and join us here. Our Our number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. But eating right all the time can be a challenge, and travel and work schedules can get in the way, or maybe you just don't have the desire or the time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature has a solution for you with just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their vegetable capsules. You can get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that is a lot of nutrition. You can go online at balanceofnature.com and use code FTL, like Free Talk Live. Become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And then after your 3rd month, then Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So go to balanceofnature.com. You can use discount code FTL to get the deal. That's FTL, like Free Talk Live, at balanceofnature.com. We've been talking about the folks who call themselves incels, or involuntary celibates. People who are angry at the world, more specifically angry at women, for not giving them love, affection, or sexual attention. One man, Alec Manation, ran down 24+ people in Toronto on a busy street. I believe he ran up on the sidewalk and plowed into them with a van. Afterwards, in a 4-hour-long interview with police, he explained that he was angry, quote, angry that they would give their love and affection to obnoxious brutes, referring to the young women that he attempted to speak to while at what sounds like perhaps a college party or a Halloween party when he was about 19 or 20 years old. He was 26 when he ran down 24 people in Toronto. Manation claimed to have been in contact with Elliot Rodger, who killed 6 people and himself in 2014 at the campus of the University of California, Santa Barbara. Rodger was a self-described incel who posted deeply misogynistic videos and a sprawling online manifesto calling for what he described as an overthrow of feminist domination. Further, the group views their inability to meet women as punishment for their status as beta males and direct their anger at people with active sex lives who they derisively call Chads and Stacys. Manation told police he was, quote, radicalized, unquote, at around the time of Rodger's attack and began to fantasize about starting his own, quote, rebellion. He said, I was thinking that I would inspire future masses to join me in my uprising as well. Well, thankfully, he has not successfully done that. There has not been an uprising. There has not been any significant so-called incel murders, thank goodness, since this guy. Unless you want to call all the other shootings incels, and maybe some of them are.
It would be interesting to look into that and find out how many of them were incels who maybe hadn't connected to that community, but that was their situation.
He told police he had decided that a 10-foot-long delivery van was, quote, the perfect medium size to use as my weapon, unquote. While he hadn't initially chosen Yonge Street as his target, one of the busiest thoroughfares in Toronto, he decided it was, quote, time to go for it, unquote, after seeing all of the pedestrians milling about the shops lining the streets. He told Thomas, quote, I'm thinking this is it. This is the day of retribution. He also revealed how the attack was stopped, saying, quote, someone's drink got splashed on my windshield, and I was worried that I would crash the van anyways, he said, explaining why he stopped the vehicle and got out. He then sought out a police officer, hoping to provoke a suicide by cop. But he forgot he was in Canada.
Wow. Go to Chicago, bro.
And the officer, Ken Lamb, resisted opening fire on Manation, even though Manation repeatedly pretended to draw a weapon. Manation said, quote, unfortunately, he didn't react, unquote. His trial will begin in February of 2020. No jury. It will be just a bench trial with a judge.
Wow.
So there you go. 855-450-FREE. Let's go to Epicurus calling from New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, Epicurus. Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Welcome, sir.
I called in about a different topic, but actually I would like to chime in on this incel thing you guys are talking about.
Sure.
Actually, I'll give a little shout-out to Ernest Hancock over at Freedom's Phoenix, too. So he had a show a couple months ago, he had a guy named Dr. Robert Glover as a guest, and he was talking about his new book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. And I bring that up because I think it's pretty relevant to the incel situation. Basically, what Robert Glover mentions is that there's a phenomenon in American culture right now where men they're very unhappy, and the way he describes it is because they're following a sort of a paradigm, a roadmap for life, a set of rules that they've been taught all their lives, that if they follow, they will be happy. And for the most part, these rules have been instilled in them from women. And he describes the situation as it's no one's fault. It's because of war, because of industrialization, because of a lot of other factors. Men are not present in the upbringing of boys, so boys don't get to see how men behave. They get to see what men are like through the eyes of the women that raise them. Women as teachers, women as mothers, single mothers, and whatnot. So these men are following paradigms for happiness that don't really work. They're following certain rules like avoid conflict, always be the mediator, sacrifice for women, for your family in general. Don't look out for yourself. Always put someone else in front of you. And it's left a lot of these guys are following these rules, but they're still very, very unhappy, and they don't understand why. And even
and men who act like that will be regarded by women as weaklings, and they will be incels. If you live a humble, self-effacing life, you will be an incel.
Exactly, and if I could, I'd like to quote a couple sentences from this book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, if that's all right.
And that's why they're so horrible when they explode, is because it takes them so long.
Yeah, it builds up. So there's one quote here. So one particular type of a quote nice guy that Robert Glover mentions is the enmesher. The enmeshing nice guy makes his partner his emotional center. His world revolves around her. She is more important than his work, his buddies, his hobbies. He will do whatever it takes to make her happy. He will give her gifts, etc., etc. He will even tolerate her bad moods, rage attacks, put up with a lot of bad stuff. I'm paraphrasing, all because he loves her so much. He calls these guys table dogs. They kind of just hover around, waiting for scraps of like emotion, waiting for that odd sexual encounter, every once in a while. And the way he describes it, the women pull away. These guys, they focus on the woman, as he describes it, kind of like he uses kind of a hose analogy. He's kind of like an emotional hose. He's kind of trying to get something out of the woman to fill a void in himself, and he focuses too much on her, and she backs away and goes.
Yeah, the woman wants attention, but she doesn't want attention, right? Like you give it too much.
Well, she wants attention from somebody who doesn't want to give her attention.
Yeah. So, Epicurus, if you want to stand by, you want to talk more about it, it's an interesting subject, you're welcome to continue here with us. Our number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us on the radio, Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us. Here our number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, the right, supposedly, to be forgotten. Is that a thing? Well, it is in Europe. We're going to talk about that on the way here tonight. There's been a court decision regarding it, and Chris, you've got that story. That's on the way. But for the first part of the show, we've been talking about the incels, the involuntary celibates. And these are men, and I don't know what the age ranges are. The ones you hear about tend to be in the younger range, like in their 20s. But there may be older incels. I don't know. I've never really deeply looked into to this particular community. I've only talked about it on the radio a few times when it's in the news. And this guy, Alec Manation, definitely brought the incels into the news back in 2018 when he attacked people on the streets of Toronto by renting a van and running them down, murdering 10 people and injuring another 16 on top of that. He ended up giving himself up to the police after attempting and failing to get the police to shoot him to death by pretending like he was drawing a gun on the cop. The cop was a Canadian, because it's in Toronto where this happened. And, of course, you don't ever hear about Canadian cops killing innocent people like they do here in the United States. I'm not saying
they're
he was
not
innocent.
as cowardly there.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true.
I don't mean to suggest he was innocent, but you don't hear about the police and the constant murders that happen on behalf of the police here in the U.S. You just don't hear that sort of stuff out of other policing forces in the Western world, at least. So Epicurus is with us here. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. Also, Discord calls are welcome over at discord.lrn.fm. That's where we're going next. But first, Epicurus, you had some more to share with us. You were reading a book, or you were giving us some excerpts or a summary, I guess, of a book that was called, what was it again?
It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover.
Okay. And the point is to encourage men to not be nice? Because that doesn't get them anywhere?
Well, that's a misdemeanor a little bit. It's a specialized term he's using when he says nice guys. It's a certain type of guy that that has been raised by women and is very passive aggressive and very avoids conflict. He's a very specific type of guy. But no, he's not telling. Either way, yeah, he's not telling guys to not be nice. He's just telling guys to be how they can be more assertive and more masculine. And if I were going to give any advice to these incel guys, I'd tell them, from what I've read from this book, to hang out, just try to spend more time with men, specifically men that know how to be masculine and that know how to behave on equal terms with women. And I would say don't hang out too much with the other incel guys, because those guys have the same problems as you do, and you're not going to learn a whole lot from them.
That's a good point. That is a very interesting piece of advice, and probably there's some truth to that. If you're not getting it your way, hanging out with other people who are not getting it their way is not gonna move your chances of success further.
If he's having trouble, if the incel that we're talking about, this sort of creature, if the incel's having trouble relating to women that he's interested in, how is he going to relate to these guys that he's also purportedly looks down upon, right? Like, these are the people
what he needs to do is go find a Jordan Peterson or
who's that?
Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, also in Canada, interestingly enough. And he became famous because he said that if trans pronouns were required by law, he would not use them.
And that's something that could happen in Canada, because they don't have free speech.
It has happened in Canada, and I don't know if there have been updates on that case. But they have to find somebody who understands their problem and can teach them, how to interact. So that's almost the pickup artist route that I mentioned earlier, where you learn to manipulate women. Although, if you find a guy who's gotten over whatever misogyny he'd developed, then it's not going to be. The pickup artist types tend to be pretty misogynistic, and there are other ways to do it.
It's just interesting that we're describing these people as people like autistic kind of individuals, and I know a lot of people who are autistic and they have relationships, so I don't know that it doesn't. It seems like a bit off to be.
Well,
putting
it's
it in
not
that light.
It's not just. Well, I don't think that all of them are autistic, and
it seems like it's coming from some other arena. Because
it's more.
I think
they actually hit it on the head. Is being raised by feminists and being raised to think that being a man is bad, and that you shouldn't be so aggressive, and you shouldn't be so loud, and you should be quiet like your sisters. Okay, and if you're quiet like your sisters, the girls are going to see you as one of the girls.
It seems to me like if that's
therefore they want to have sex with
you.
you.
Exactly.
They're not.
But they'll form a friendship with you.
If that's the case, it sounds like these people are probably just not, making enough of an effort to go out there and present themselves as, looking for a date, looking for a relationship.
Yeah, and we don't know what his history is. All we get is this brief mention of the murderer in this case. He said that he went to a party and was rejected by women at the party. So we don't know if that was his one time where he tried and failed and he didn't try again after that.
I strongly doubt that. I would suspect that was an emblematic experience of his life that he reported. Maybe a night that was particularly humiliating to him.
Yeah,
or
possibly.
Maybe a night that he thought was going to make some sort of point.
It may also be this impression that, people are I suspect, and I don't know, but I suspect that your average straight guy is going to get rejected 9 out of 10 times.
I bet you're right about that.
And
I'd say you're about right.
You're giving these young people the impression, right? If not more, you're giving these young people this impression that they just have to ask a girl out or maybe a couple of girls, but they'll get a date. But it's more work than that. It actually takes energy.
I've had a couple tell me yes, but then it doesn't go anywhere. So,
right.
Yeah, and that's rarely a part of. One of the things that we have to keep to remember is that people are growing up learning to date and interact with humans from movies made by Harvey Weinstein. So are being a little bit, I mean, really, I remember as a kid, like rewiring what I thought as a result of watching movies and thinking, that outcome does make sense. Well, now I find out that a lot of these movies are made by monsters. So that's problematical. Especially if you're not having strong masculine role models and you're not living in a country that rewards sanity.
Epicurus, you're trying to jump in there. Go ahead, please.
So when you guys were mentioning that it may be a lack of effort on the part of these incels, I don't think that's necessarily the general problem. I like the way that Robert Glover puts it. There's a paradigm, there's a roadmap to happiness that these guys are following. These guys have been trained, their whole lives by the women in their lives that if you follow these certain rules, you will be happy. Never talk bad about a woman. Always, sacrifice for a woman. Never start conflicts. Always be passive. They're following these rules. They're following them, and then they fail. And so they keep following these rules harder. They keep trying harder and harder. So it's not a lack of effort. It's a lack of, it's the fact that they're following the wrong roadmap to happiness. His example is if you had a roadmap of, if you're following a roadmap of New York, but you're in Seattle and you can't get to where you're trying to go, don't try harder.
Right, following the map harder is not going to lead you to success in that case.
If it's the same person that you keep trying harder and harder with, I think you'd
that's
be
a
right.
bad plan.
But if you're trying with a different person each time, I can't imagine that there's anybody who's going to be out there. Who's
and there may be a point at which these guys got rejected 5 times and then they just stopped.
Gave up. Right?
They didn't get to 10 or 20.
I would say that's pretty rare. I think you're probably looking at people who've been rejected a lot more than that. Because being rejected 5 times doesn't drive you to homicide or suicide.
But you're not crazy. We're not talking about a crazy person. Because
I don't think we're talking about crazy people here. I think
99% of them aren't doing homicides, though.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just complaining on the internet and feeling bad. And
you've got a point there.
Epicurus, stand by, or now don't stand by. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate the call. We got to get to Mortified Penguin on the line here as well. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Some of these guys had a unrealistic expectation of what they could accomplish in a lot of cases, and maybe their standards are too high. Maybe that's one of the issues as well. More coming up here in moments. They think they deserve a certain level of looks, I guess.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Extendivite really works. Just listen to what Dr. Joe has to say.
Hypertension runs in my family, unfortunately. I started having problems a number of years ago, and I had heard the commercials a number of times, and I personally do not like the idea of being on medications. Even though I'm a physician, you would think, that's our thing, but we just don't like it. So I figured, I'll start the product, and I did, and I got to tell you, it does help. By the grace of God and that product, my labs come back really good all the time, right on the money. I used to always have cold toes in the wintertime, and I used to love going down to Florida for my medical conferences. But since I've been taking the product regularly, I don't have that problem anymore. You got a great product there, Don, and I just wanted to tell you how appreciative I am. Thank you so much.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Free Talk Live.
If anybody else wanted to know how to do it, y'all gave them the information, and plus how to get illegal drugs, how to get hand grenades, and I mean, this is a free country, but I don't, but you gave out web addresses, Silk something.
The Silk Road is a revolutionary website that allows people to buy from the black market in a much safer manner than they currently buy. And I'm all about harm reduction, Bob. I think that reducing
this is
harm...
great for a free country. Let's get everybody on to safer illegal drugs.
Do you think anybody did crack after watching our show that had never done it before?
That's part of your liberty, that because it's okay with a lot of people, let's make sure we have it. Let's keep advertising.
No, I think that it is not my right to tell you what is right or wrong to put in your body, and nor is it your business to tell me what is right or wrong to put in my body or what I'm going to do with my uterus.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. Plus, there's also plenty of features on our website where you can go and enjoy various different things, including downloadable archives and our webcam. All of that stuff is free, unlike those other talk show hosts that want to charge you for accessing their website. Go to freetalklive.com. And also get on over to local.bitcoin.com. That is where you can go to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash. And it's a global trading platform where you actually have privacy for the first time. The other platforms out there, they want to know who you are and where you're from. There's no ID requirement to join over at local.bitcoin.com. And all communications between buyers and sellers there are encrypted. Now, as a buyer or seller, if you do need to bring an administrator in for, say, like a dispute resolution, then you can authorize them to see the text of the sale. But by default, even the administrators of the site don't know what buyers and sellers are saying to one another. Go to local.bitcoin.com and get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. There's dozens of payment methods you can use, some more risky than others. We go to more of your calls and thoughts here. We've been talking about the Incel phenomenon, and we've got Mortified Penguin on the line with us on our Discord server. Go ahead, Mortified Penguin.
Hey, guys. Hey. You guys continue to talk about the incel topic and everything, and I've been read a few discussions that I didn't participate in on Discord about the incel. It's back in the news. I think a lot of it was actually the same story, the sentencing of this guy. Mm-hmm. And I think he
has not been sentenced. Just to be clear, he has not gone to trial yet. Alec Manation is in custody. His trial will begin February.
Well, I remember when the story actually happened, and it was, I guess it's back in the news, and some of the things that I've kind of heard about incels, because people go on these forums, people look at it, take deep dives into this really weird community, and some of the things that I've heard that I agree with, in those conversations, what you guys have said somewhat, is that, yes, there is certain attitudes about masculinity, but at the same time, we can't say that hyper aggressiveness or confrontation is necessarily valued in society so much in general, in any kind of civilized society. But at the same time, of course,
Are we in a civilized society?
Well, that's arguable, but in any sort of organized, peaceful society, what I think I kind of hit on is the thing about expectations, and the fact that society and through the media and stuff, they create this expectation that you can just go out and talk to people, get laid. Women will, because they're not always bad looking or out of shape. In many cases,
you're talking about the incels. You're saying the incels?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not. That's not the common feature of them. It's two things. So the first thing is that they have a lot of times this expectation that they will go out and it's all about talking to women and saying these things and that things and getting laid. That's where the whole pickup artist thing that I back in college, like guys were into that stuff. Like you neg women and you say these things and that things, and she shows this.
Neg. That's pickup artist terminology, right? Neg.
Giving like backhand
women.
Backhanded
compliments.
Backhanded compliments.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you let's see, you have to peacock and dress ridiculously, all these weird things, and end up getting one of my friends maced, but that's a whole nother story.
It got him maced.
Every life a little mace must fall.
He took that stuff to heart. But so they have this expectation from movies and stuff, like you were saying, that you can just go out and get laid and score, and that's just what's normalized for them. And when they don't achieve it, because I mean, let's face it, even men that do get rejected a lot of the time, and even the pickup artists know that for sure. It's like not 99 rejections and you get it once and you're successful.
Right, but the difference is, nobody. We were talking about how the pickup artists have some of the same mentality, but they're coming at it differently. They're not necessarily appreciating a lot of these women. Well, they're trying to manipulate them, and they know they're going to get rejected, and they come into it with that expectation. Right?
Yeah, the way I view the pickup artist is they were basically incels. Okay, they couldn't get there for a long time being who they actually were. So somebody taught them to play a game that makes it that well enough that they can get there once in a while. Right. And so that 100%. but they haven't done it by becoming authentically better. Yeah. They've done it by learning a formula to play with people's heads.
Yeah. And the other thing is, Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is that, and this is common with a lot of things, actually. So these people, they go online, they find these communities of like-minded people, they form these echo chambers, and they create these identities like Incel, which did not exist when pickup artists was the thing, even though I think it was, spiritually some of the same people. Sure. But same kind of people. But like they form these communities, and it's just an echo chamber, and it concentrates with just hatred of women, because it's not because they can't get sex, because clearly there are sex workers, clearly there are people that are a little bit less desirable on the dating scale. That's not the issue. The issue is they're not desired by the women that they want, and they feel entitled to.
Well, they're not desired by anyone. I mean, going to a sex worker, you're not being desired. George Washington and, probably not Washington that much. He's on the one.
But there may be women who would desire them, but they would not be within their what they consider to be their wheelhouse. They may be too old, or unattractive or whatever. They're not the women that these young men are attracted to. So, I mean, there's always some, like, for instance, I was saying during the break, like, if I were to go gay, I'd have plenty more options than I do with women, because there's plenty of them that are attracted to me, and I know it. And
yeah, but if you're a straight guy, that's not. I mean, if you're a completely straight guy, then
there aren't that many completely straight guys.
The opposite of what's going to make you feel like a man.
Well, I understand that.
So it's
not something I want to do, but I'm just saying, if what you want is attention from another human being, then don't be picky about it, and you can get attention from another human being. If you want attention from a very specific person that looks in a certain way, then it's going to be a lot harder.
Well, I mean,
and that's what they're failing at.
I don't know.
If they signed up for
I mean,
Grindr, I
Woody
bet you
Allen
they
did say that being bisexual doubled your chances of having a date on Friday night.
I would say it would.
But,
if they
you know,
go
I'm
sign up
here
on
Friday
Grindr,
night.
they're going to get people interested. I guarantee it. Yeah, I guarantee it.
You want the people that you want. I mean, you do want to be. You do. Yeah. I understand the need to be actually desired and have genuinely, a relationship and not just pay for it. I get that doesn't work. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, again, it's not purely about the sex. Is I guess the point.
But then
it's definitely not the echo chamber.
I will say that being able to pay for some substitute love might well keep, of the fraction of these guys who kill from doing so. But even buying sex isn't easy in this society. People get robbed by hookers all the time too.
Yeah. Thank the government for that, though. That's because of the black market.
Definitely.
So legalized prostitution, I think, if nothing else, if some guy would drag these guys to a prostitute every 6 months and just make them do it, they might still be miserable, but they'd never get to the point where they killed. I
think you're right about that.
That's been proposed. Yeah, that's been proposed.
It kind of begs the question of why can't people have relationships without having the sex connected to that relationship? Have a good relationship with somebody and then going off and have sex with somebody else.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? Well, it doesn't seem to me like that would be such a terrible thing from a psychological standpoint.
There are some people who are in a relationship because of like the kids, right? Like they had a romantic relationship and they fell out of love for one another, but they had a kid and they feel as though they must stay together for the benefit of the child, and they may actually be having sex with somebody else outside of that relationship.
Right.
So that probably happens.
That doesn't seem like such a terrible. I mean, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like such a terrible thing.
Polyamory
if you like the person
work.
that you used to be attracted to, and you have a relationship, and you with kids or whatever, it doesn't seem like that would be that big of a deal.
It's not as unhealthy.
Non-traditional relationships like that can work, but they can't work when there's a party whose needs aren't getting met. Okay. The only way that you can be happy in a non-traditional relationship, because you're bucking all of society to do this, so the only way you can be happy and do that is if your needs are legitimately getting met.
Good call.
Because if they're not, you're going to have to get out of there.
Penguin, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. We got hour number 3 on the way. We're moving on to the right to be forgotten. That's where we're going in hour 3. But if you still got comments on incels, you're still welcome to call in. I think we've covered the story here to the extent that we can. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves, and maybe you are an incel. You want to talk about it? We're here. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 3 is next.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com. Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to MyMagicMud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. MyMagicMud.com, FTL20.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. libertybeat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.62, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,022. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a French model scout alleged to have provided Jeffrey Epstein with minor victims has fled to Brazil as the first official investigation into one of the pedophile's closest associates is underway, according to a report from the Daily Mail. The report states that officials in Paris are investigating model scout Jean-Luc Brunel on charges of rape and sexual assault for crimes that he allegedly committed on French soil, as well as one he may have committed in other countries involving French citizens. Police began their probe shortly after receiving a letter from a former Dutch model who said that Brunel spiked her drink and then raped her in his apartment just days after the teenager moved to Paris and signed with his agency. According to Brunel's accuser, she urged authorities to look into Brunel, even though the statute of limitations has run out on her specific claims. Karen Models, which Brunel hasn't been with for a decade, was raided last week by authorities, according to the report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. As audiences eagerly await the new Joker film, authorities in the United States have sounded the ominous alarm about what they fear may be in store for moviegoers flocking to theaters to catch the premiere on October 4th. A possible mass shooting committed by Incels, or involuntary celibates. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Tuesday, the U.S. Army confirmed that it had widely distributed an advisory to service members about a potential mass shooting during the theatrical release of Joker. According to Stripes, a U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command was issued Monday, warning commanders at U.S. Army Fort Sill in Oklahoma that a law enforcement agency in Texas, working with the FBI, had uncovered disturbing and very specific chatter in the dark web regarding the targeting of an unknown movie theater during the release date on October 4th. U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command Chief of Public Affairs, Chris Gray, said the source of the original information was the Texas Department of Public Safety Joint Crime Information Center. Dr. Bronner's, the organic soap company famous for its charitable efforts, has recently announced a massive donation to an organization in Oregon that's working to legalize psychedelic mushroom-assisted therapy. CEO David Bronner made the announcement at an event in Portland last week, which was held at the Newmark Theater and featured the mycologist and psilocybin advocate Paul Stamets. The Mind Unleashed reports that Bronner announced that his company will be donating $150,000 to the Oregon Psilocybin Service Initiative, a group working on a ballot initiative for the legalization of mushroom-assisted therapy. If the ballot initiative is successful, Oregon residents will have the ability to vote on the measure in the November 2020 election. Denver was the first municipality in the United States to decriminalize possession of psychedelic mushrooms, and the organizers of that successful initiative are working to implement the same strategy in other cities and states. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for The Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The only nation where this regularly happens concludes that there's no way to prevent this. A college rape victim is pretty thrilled about recounting her assault to a faculty committee, and the nation's depressed individuals march on the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Onion Week in Review. Secretary of Veterans Affairs Eric Shinseki announced plans this week to improve healthcare for American veterans with a new $500 million state-of-the-art waiting room. The 150,000 square foot complex will reportedly feature a wide selection of magazines, 2 water coolers, and receptionists who will immediately give veterans vague answers about how long they can expect to sit there before receiving inadequate healthcare. And in this week's commentary, a local man finds owning a cat is a great way to meet women who magically appear in your living room. In other news, a new study finds employee morale drastically improves after watching a coworker throw a fit. A wise oracle proclaims to all at a barbecue that he felt a raindrop, and an elderly man is hailed as alert.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, welcome to Free Talk Live. We are kicking off the third hour of this program where you can take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Coming up, we're going to talk about the right to be forgotten, or at least that's what they say in Europe, and the latest news about the so-called right to be forgotten. But first, with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
Now, you can bring up anything that you want. We have talked a lot about the incels, if you want to, whatever you want to call them, a phenomena, kind of an interesting thing to talk about. Some say that it's because of the feminized society that we had a gentleman who called in last hour, and I think he made an interesting argument that these men who are being raised primarily by women with this sort of feminist belief system are likely the ones who are these beta males and who are failing when it comes to attracting a potential
and think
mate.
back, what's the oldest term you know? The oldest term I know for beta male is mama's boy. There's
Pussy.
it's but
Too shy to ask a girl out.
there's a connection there. The other thing is, if you look into Freud's work on homosexuality, one thing that he tended to identify was a domineering mother. As being, now I don't know if that's out of style these days, and I don't have any theory as to whether it's genetic or not, but it doesn't seem to be any single gene. But yeah, there's a this is not a new phenomenon. We just make up new words for things every once in a while.
Yeah.
Transsexuals aren't new either.
Well, what is new, and again, the same caller I think pointed this out as well, is that now these people who have existed previously now have forums. So if they existed previously, they sort of were in their world, they had their workplace, they had their friends groups or whoever they knew in real life, but now they can go online to the same online forum, whether it's 4chan or wherever it is that these folks hang out. In this case, the murderer in Toronto was a 4chaner. But I imagine there are other places where they go, where they can get reinforced. So not only do they have this particular belief system, but they've now been able to find other people who have the same belief system. And in many cases, this is a benefit, right? Like, so for people that have a certain belief that's not harmful to themselves, they can get together with other people who have that same belief, and they have a club. In this case, the club is a bunch of angry men who then feed off of the anger of one another. It's sort of like the same thing with the white supremacist, people like Chris Cantwell.
Yeah.
As the one thing the internet can definitely provide you with is people who are like you. And so if you go to the internet and you're angry, you're going to come across other people who are similarly angry, whose anger will then ratchet up in response to the people that they're around. They're making memes that are angry and, incel-y and mad about, their lives and sharing their stories and their depression and their anger with one another. And that's not a positive situation.
Yeah, it can be a positive situation if and only if some of the members of the group have found a way out. Because, if you find a way, if there's no solution, if there's no way to fix your life, then, then there is no solution for you. There's no way to stop hating the world that hates you.
How are you going to find that solution if all you're mired in is the same kind of anger and hatred?
Well, and that's the unfortunate thing is that apparently there are not positive people going in there and saying, "Hey, this is a different way to handle this."
Maybe they are.
Because I
guarantee
if somebody could, maybe there are, but if somebody could show these guys a way to live that they were not miserable, then as soon as they were not miserable, they would not be wanting to blow up things with or drive vans into people or anything like that. I think what kept a lot of the socially marginal guys together in the past was there wasn't a welfare state. So, if you weren't that attractive, sooner or later a poor chick would come along and marry anyway. But now they don't need you to take care of them. They've got the
welfare
state.
state.
Probably some truth to that. Yeah, it's I don't necessarily think that being amongst other like-minded people is a bad thing, but when you end up in an echo chamber where all you're listening to is other like-minded people,
and all they're talking about is how bad life is and how
that's where the danger comes in. It's the same reason that I think it's a bad idea to like ban people from Porkfest, for example, who have different views. It's not so much that you have to agree with them, but if you never hear any views other than those from within your own social circles, you're going to have a really warped perspective of the world.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. But going. And the thing about positivity is I used to go to AA, and when I was about 10 years sober, I went to Hawaii with my parents. And I went to an AA meeting in Hawaii, which was awful. There were like people selling drugs in the parking lot, and like everybody at the meeting was getting a sheet signed, which meant they were there under a court order.
Great.
And so, except one guy, the guy who was signing all the sheets, and he came up to me after the meeting and said, you're serious. Here's a list of the like inner sanctum meetings that you can go to. And I guess the liberal judges in Hawaii were court ordering so many people to go to AA that people started getting drunk, and so they formed their own groups of people who were just serious about getting sober, and then they'd send one guy out as like a bird dog to
find
sign
the real ones.
sheets.
Yeah.
And find the real ones. Yeah.
Amazing. Huh.
It's kind of the way I think anarchists should use the Libertarian Party. But
let's go to somebody calling themselves the Village Idiot. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Mike Tyson famously knocked out Leon Spinks in 93 seconds. I'd happily get in the ring with an idiot and a liar by the name of Rich Paul. And I'll stop your breathing.
Okay, bro, you want to put $100 on it?
9.3 seconds.
9.3 seconds.
9.3 seconds.
Oxygen to your thought.
Hey, how does this tough talk attract women in your life, James? How you doing?
I was gonna say, isn't this James?
It is James.
Yeah.
I unbanned him from the show because.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because he's been a little bit nicer recently, even though he opened. Here, hold on a second. I'm gonna let you come back here, but you just keep talking. I just want to explain for new listeners and you, Chris.
Yeah, new to me.
Last night, he's been calling recently and has not jumped straight to the threats. Usually within the first sentence. So I feel like he should have a chance to say something that he wants to say. And he was insulting people last night, but he didn't really get to the threats. And so, given that Mark's not on the show and Mark's the one who's got the real issue with him, he's unbanned for nights where Mark's not on, but he's still banned for nights where Mark is on. Anyway, please go ahead.
Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Until you come up here and say that, you're just a bitch behind a microphone. So, come up and say it to my face, or don't bother to say it.
All right, so look.
Here I am. You know where I am.
James, what is it that you're so upset about? I mean, it's been how many years now? 7 years since you started calling this show?
I don't think he even knows. I don't know. I've just been mad at you for so long.
I'm trying to have a serious conversation.
Since the very first time I ever called, 32714 being the fourth, you can listen to Mark Edge have a premeditated smear against me. Not to mention you've doxed me and called me a racist. And
I have not called. I have not done those things, sir.
I heard he was a racist. Isn't he a racist?
Spineless human being, Ian Bernard. You call me a liar when I told the truth, just as Chris has.
This Chris, or a different Chris?
We've got lots of Chris's.
I have not forgotten you called me a liar on the public airwaves, and of
You're
course
a liar. You never said
because
that.
you'd already dumped my call. But let me prove to you that
I think he's talking about the other Chris.
Yeah, you're confusing Chris's.
I just want you to settle down, James. I'm going to actually put you on hold. This has not happened in a long time. We're going to hold on to James.
Really?
Like
wow.
I'm welcoming James back. I want to try to figure out...
Why are we doing this? Do we hate ourselves?
What is it that has got this man so angry for half a decade that he continues, that he threatens people?
That is interesting.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Heard your commercials for a long time, and I kept thinking, yeah, I'll look into that, and I just never did. And finally, I gave you guys a call and started. Well, I did tell the doctor when he asked me what I was doing. I said, have you heard of Balance of Nature? And he says, yeah, he actually had taken it at one time. I said, well, I'm doing that, and I feel great. I think it's helping and everything. And he says, well, good. He says, I should start that up again. I'm just happy, and I'm going to stick with it.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Receive 25% off your first preferred purchase of Balance of Nature. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. With these discounts, you will still receive free shipping on every order. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FREETALKLIVE.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free, bring up whatever you want here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And I also want to let you know about liberty.menu. That is a great website where you can go if you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and who agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Liberty.menu has listings that you can create. Maybe you are an event creator or perhaps a digital content creator, or maybe you're a business owner. You want other people in the Liberty community, people who might describe themselves as libertarians or anarchists or voluntarists, to find out that you exist. The best site to do it is liberty.menu. You can also use code FTL to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Liberty.menu is free to use, so unless you don't want free publicity, maybe you don't want people to know that you care about freedom, then you probably should stay away. But if you are interested in letting people know and maybe getting some new business out of it, go to liberty.menu and get started over there. Again, it's free to put more than one thing up. If you got like more than one business, that's cool. You can put them all up there. At liberty.menu, we go back to James on the line here tonight from Arizona. James, just trying to kind of get it all out onto the air here. You've been angry for so long.
About me in the public airways than I've ever.
You got to talk right into the phone. I don't know if you got a speakerphone on, but you sound terrible right now. You were sounding better earlier, so I don't know what you did to change the quality of the call. Are you there?
Are you servicing a customer?
Okay, much better. So you're.
Oh, that's so funny, Rich. Minister Freeman.
His name is Nobody. Okay, he changed his name.
Since I
You can call me Rich.
Minister Freeman.
Yes, sir.
That's your con man moniker, Ian.
Not a con man.
Spent over
you don't get to be successful in life by being a con man.
May I speak?
Yes, please. Go right ahead.
May I speak?
That's why I held you over. Go ahead.
You've spoken more than I have.
Yeah, I have the show. I'm here 3 hours a night.
Where you can call and take over the public airwaves.
Yeah, here you
Except
are.
for when James Whitty-Klein calls in. Then you take over the public airwaves and crap on my good name after you've got my call for over half a decade.
Okay, which one of your names is the good one?
Speaking of being an idiot and a liar, Rich.
James, you do nothing but call in and criticize people. I mean, why do you think we're going to come back and defend ourselves after you hang up? Of course we are.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting creature.
You call yourself a minister of peace and love, yet you crap on a caller incessantly and then laugh at him and all these things.
James,
say things about
we've offered you apologies. Can you just settle down for a moment? We've offered you apologies in the past.
You're no more sincere in your apology than you are a minister.
See, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything right.
Questions.
You can't even apologize to this guy. He doesn't care.
It's heads you win, tails I lose. Hey, Rich, isn't it true that I heard you brag about making $30,000 selling Bitcoin?
What?
Huh?
Yeah,
you boasted on the public airwaves having sold $30,000 worth of Bitcoin while sitting right next to Mark Edge this summer, didn't you?
Actually, I had a pile of Bitcoin that was worth $30,000 at one point, but I didn't sell it all at that point.
So you still have it?
That's none of your business.
Say that
Yeah,
either.
that's not
of your business.
Yeah, that's
either.
not none of your business.
None of your
Yes,
business.
it is, because the Keene Public Defender's Office would like to know that you're playing them, and the good taxpayers of Keene, speaking of being a liar and an idiot and not a minister, Freeman, you lie on his behalf so easily, like a fake apology is a lie. You, sir, have called me a liar on the public airwaves after I told you that I did not have 3 Deweys.
Okay, so this is still what it's about. I thought you had 2. I thought you said you had 2 of them.
Years ago. I've already told you I have 1, and then you say you've apologized, and you say you apologize, yet you accuse me of being a liar.
Okay.
Again.
I told you, James.
Chris, let me ask you.
I told you. Hold on. We can get to Chris in a second here. I told you that the internet has evidence that you have more than 1. You're saying that's false. Okay. I accept. I'm sorry
You're calling
about
me
this.
a liar. You're calling me a liar.
No, I'm saying the internet has different information.
Right. He's apologizing for being wrong.
You're calling me a liar.
Not only did I tell you the internet has different information than what you're saying, I also told you where you can go to find that information. I told you that you can go to, I think it was jail.com, if I recall correctly. Yes, go ahead. You just can't talk over people because it's rude.
You keep on repeating a lie and then call me rude?
I'm not lying. I found
your
your records on jail.com. That is not a lie, sir. Now, what you're saying is that jail.com is presenting misinformation, correct?
No, you freaking idiot. It's due to the original charge, driving on a suspended license after I got a Dewey. That's why it shows that I have a Dewey, you idiot. Again, you've called me a liar. And if
I have not
only
called
had
you a
Bitcoin
liar.
Every time you said I had multiple
If I
Deweys,
called you a liar, I'd call you a
very
liar
rich
straight to
man.
your face, and I've
By the
not
way,
called you a liar.
You've been smearing me. You've already called me a liar when I've told you the truth already.
Okay.
And
I
you're
already
lucky.
told you
Speaking
it's
of
just
Chris,
different information.
Chris,
That's not.
Chris,
Go ahead.
Let
See,
me ask you
I tried,
a question,
right?
Chris.
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to speak the truth as I always have. You've never been interested in it. All you are interested in is smearing, James Whitty kind.
How much have you had to drink tonight? That's what I want to know.
You're not a minister of peace or love. You're a liar. Just like Rich Paul was just shown to be a liar.
Who's he calling a liar? Is he calling me a liar now? He's
calling
talking
me a
about me
liar.
for a second there, and I'm still
I
waiting
don't
for
know.
that.
I think we might all be liars. I'm not tracking very well. I think he's drunk. Are you drunk, James?
He does call like all of us liars, like constantly. So
why don't you try calling when you're sober? Are you this dumb when you're sober?
I'm angry because you're a liar. You're a fat,
James,
ugly
why do
slob.
you keep calling in? If we're so horrible to you, why do you keep calling in?
Wow.
Slop in 9 points.
Did you even hear his question, James? He asked you a question. You wanted to talk to Chris. He asked you a
He's not
question.
interested in having dialogue. He's interested
He asked you a question. That's dialogue.
I don't think he ever stops talking. I think he just fades out of range sometimes.
No, I hit him. I put him on hold so a listener can actually hear at least one side of the conversation.
Let me ask the question again, James. Why do you keep calling in if we keep, talking about you?
I mean,
Rich Paul, you lie about me, then double down on the lie.
Yeah, it's over.
And then
I
accuse me of being drunk
tried.
Instead of accusing me of being angry, which I am.
You are
because
so
Rich Paul-
angry. Is there ever a time when you're happy? Has there ever been a time in the last 5 years where you smiled and enjoyed yourself?
When I'm not talking to liars and losers
So
like you,
stop.
I am at all times.
Jesus,
When I'm talking- when I'm
dude.
not-
Just stop. If it's so frustrating to you, stop.
Yeah, the best thing you could do is stop calling into the show because all it does is irritate your. I don't understand why people irritate themselves like this. They're doing it to themselves.
He must
Or
like
he's doing
it
to
at
himself.
some level. He must enjoy it.
I don't know. Some people are just they got issues.
My guess is he's some sort of a narcissist, and he can't deal with the fact that a national radio audience thinks he's an idiot, and so he has to call up and convince them they're wrong. And Of course, the way he does that convinces everybody that, yeah, he's an idiot.
Well, James, I just want to say welcome back to the show. Thank you for the call here tonight. You're not banned as long as Mark isn't on the air.
And as long as people keep tipping us when you call.
And they've tipped him. He's gotten tips in the chat room. He's known as Mouth Breathing Dullard. He has a special room called the Troll Zone or the Toxic User Zone. If you want to find him and talk to him, if you want James to insult you, just go talk to him in the Toxic User Zone, and he'll turn his attention to you. More coming up here. Thanks for the call. It's Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you can dial in Toll free here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up anything that you want and take control of these airwaves. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And nobody.
So we're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts. Then coming up, Chris has a story about the so-called right to be forgotten. What is that, and what's the latest? There's been a court decision about it. We'll get into it here, and of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts about whatever you want. Plus, I definitely want to let you know about Edge Wallet. If you are interested in getting started with the world of cryptocurrency, then Edge Wallet is my favorite wallet out there. There's a lot of wallets from which you can choose. They're all free. Edge Wallet is certainly free as well. They've got dozens of cryptocurrencies and also tokens that you can add to the wallet. You can buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your favorite cryptocurrencies. It's available for iOS and Android devices. And the guys over at Edge are a veteran team. They've been building wallets since back when it was only Bitcoin. Back in 2014, their tagline is Secure Your Freedom. Go to edge.app to learn more about the Edge wallet. And again, download yours from the Google or Apple App Store. Edge.app is their website. It's the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true from before when they became a sponsor. Edge.app. As we go to RMX. RMX is on our Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Hello.
Hey, how you doing? I was just calling because the other day Google announced they have got the quantum computer up and running.
I heard about this.
I'm thinking to myself, if they have it, then basically Bitcoin and all the other altcoins would all theoretically go straight to them if they chose to do it like that.
I haven't read the story, but mostly because I kind of suspect that it is not
overblown.
Yeah, it's overblown. But
the fact that capacity exists within quantum computing does not imply that version 1 of quantum computing is going to be able to do it.
What I want to know is this anything more than what IBM has come out with in terms of quantum computing? Because they basically had something, but like they didn't understand how it worked, and in practice, it couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just wondering.
I mean, you read the story, right?
Is it time to get out of Bitcoin or?
Well, according to the people,
I would say it's time to get out of BTC because it doesn't scale. But
well, I just use that generically. I don't use BTC. I use BCH or some of the other ones. But
I mean, there is.
Yeah, me too.
There are quantum computing resistance like algorithms and such in the works. I don't necessarily know that quantum computing, is going to be here before those, algorithms come about that will resist it.
Well, okay, so Bitcoin.com's news site did a story about this. They put out it was, I guess, Financial Times published a story claiming that a paper published by Google researchers described a major computing breakthrough. Using a quantum computer, their team managed to perform a calculation in just over 3 minutes that would have taken the world's most powerful supercomputer 10,000 years. In an industry that's characterized by incremental improvements, that sounds like a leap that warrants comparisons with the Big Bang. Quantum supremacy, which the researchers claim to have attained, refers to the moment when a quantum computer outperforms the world's best classical computer in a specific test. Google described the achievement as a, quote, milestone towards full-scale quantum computing, unquote, and predicted quantum computing capacity to expand at a double exponential rate, outstripping the exponential rate that Moore's law has described so faithfully for decades. On the face of it, this technology sounds in danger of destroying everything we hold dear, starting with Bitcoin. The reality, as is so often the case, is more nuanced. Predictions of Bitcoin's death at the hands of quantum computing have been greatly exaggerated. Fearing that a quantum breakthrough is just around the corner, threatening the sanctity of all known encryption algorithms, cryptographers have been striving to develop quantum-resistant blockchains, which you were referring to just a moment ago, Chris, that can withstand a Cambrian explosion in quantum computing. According to quantum-resistant blockchain QAN, their CTO, Johan Polsak, said, quote, the most popular public key algorithms are theoretically at risk of being broken by a quantum computing breakthrough. Most encrypted data intercepted and stored today could be decrypted by quantum computers in the near future, he says. But regarding Google's quantum computer, he said this, quote, the notion of Google achieving a quantum breakthrough sounds very dramatic, but in reality, it's hard to gauge the significance at this time. How can we be sure that Google's quantum computer is more powerful than D-Wave's, for example, which surpassed 1,000 qubits I don't know what that means, 4 years ago. So he's saying there was another previous quantum breakthrough that happened 4 years ago, and whatever that was also didn't break the cryptography on cryptocurrency.
Was that IBM?
He said it was D-Wave, the letter D hyphen
Oh,
W-A-V-E.
you know what? I think they're referring to the same thing I was. I got confused in terms of who did it or something.
I mean, IBM may be involved. I don't know.
Yeah, there might have been something with IBM. I think there was some article with IBM buying a computer or something like that. And I think the government did too, and a few other parties.
So they say that, just to get a little more detailed, QAN's protocol, all signatures and hashes within it might be susceptible to quantum algorithms, are protected by post-quantum cryptography. Just as it sounds, this is a school of cryptography dedicated to protecting networks in a world of quantum supercomputers. There are numerous models of post-quantum cryptography, with QAN favoring a lattice-based approach, but there are other variants of the 6 primary schools of post-quantum cryptographic research, which obviously we're not going to get into here because that's way too technical. I don't understand it. Maybe you and nobody would have some grasp of this, but it's probably out of the bailiwick of most people listening to this.
See, I'm a programmer, but I'm not a cryptographer,
Right.
so I would have to read probably a lot of background material to know what they were talking about.
But, this is a legitimate concern, obviously, about the future of cryptocurrency. They do say here, RMX, that while advancements in quantum computing warrant close scrutiny, there's no evidence to suggest that Bitcoin private keys are in danger of getting popped anytime soon. To illustrate just how secure current cryptographic standards are, OpenBazaar's Chris Pasha, who's also a Free Stater, lives in New Hampshire, wrote a blog post in 2013 in which he discussed the commonly used AES Advanced Encryption Standard. He said, quote, "If every one of the 7 billion people on Earth had 10 computers testing 1 billion key combinations per second, it would take the entire population..." Oh my God, that's a lot of zeros. Let's see.
It's too many zeros to actually
12,
be able to give us a number
15,
over the radio.
18, 21, 24 zeros, 77 followed by 24 zeros, that many years to find a single 128-bit AES key.
Now that is, though, with traditional computers. So, I think there is reasons. I think the news stories are sensationalist generally, but it's not to say that the technology isn't real. It's just, how long is it actually going to be before this happens? And it's not like there isn't already research going into how to
protecting
solve,
it.
Right, how to solve the crypto, the encryption, still have encryption in a crypto era.
The hard part is going to be to find something that you can do with common household hardware that will be resistant to, because the bigger your keys get, then the more resources you're using on your machine.
Right.
So I don't know. I think there may be a time when cryptography is very difficult on personal computers.
So I suspect that the answer to this is, or the solution may simply be in what was it, one-time pads, where it may not work.
Pads?
What, you know what I'm talking about, Rich? Am I using the wrong words?
Yeah. Well, one-time pad is basically you generate an encryption key just for one communication. And so PGP encrypts its messages with a one-time pad, and then it encrypts the one-time pad with the recipient's key. So basically you unlock it, you get the pad, and then you decrypt the rest of the message with the pad.
Basically, effectively, what I'm saying is, if you got 2 gigabytes of data, you could send 2 gigabytes worth of messages. But the other party also has to have that same 2 gigabytes worth of data in order to decrypt it.
RMX, I hope that answers at least some of the concern that you have. There's more in the story over at Bitcoin.com. I will link to it on our social media, and I thank you for the call. Thanks for bringing that up, because I know there's probably a lot of people who've been wondering about that. I'll put that on twitter.freetalklive.com, toot, T-O-O-T, toot.freetalklive.com, and also our Telegram at telegram.freetalklive.com. We will continue here, and we'll talk about the right to be forgotten in moments. Unless we forget. It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
With more people listening to radio than visit Google, Facebook, or YouTube, from the very young to the very old, everyone listens to radio. Pillow companies, alarm, identity theft, nutrition, insurance, banking, automotive. The list goes on and on. Billion-dollar businesses. Why? The answer is radio, the media everyone tunes into. Find out how effective and affordable radio can be for your business. Contact 877-996-4327 or advertise at gcnlive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here in these remaining moments. We have enough time for you. If you want to join us, our number 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I want to say thank you to Nick C., who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. Thank you, Nick. Definitely appreciate the support. The AMP program is a way that you can get behind what we do here and help us get on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board. We got a couple of stations coming back, actually, who had carried the show previously. They're now going to carry us again. I'm not going to announce them quite yet because, well, you know what? Yeah, I can announce them, even though we haven't gotten the countersigned agreement back. It's the station signed the agreement. WLOE and WMYN, which are AM stations in Eden and Mayodan, North Carolina. So welcome back to the program. And so that's great having them back on. In fact, they're back on weeknights, although I just realized they're only on 7 to 9. So I'll have to re-welcome them on a night on which they're actually carrying us, because they don't carry the third hour. So I'll do that again. Anyway, but yes, we do. It's fun to get stations back that have carried us before. And of course, it's always fun to get new stations on. And you can help us do that by becoming an amplifier, just like Nick C. over at amp.freetalklive.com. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month. And you can do it with PayPal. You can do it with credit card. You can do it with Bitcoin, BTC. And actually, if you're an amplifier and you're on our Discord forum, because one of the perks of being an amplifier is you get access to the supporters-only chat rooms on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. There's some other perks as well, like if you're on Facebook, there's an amp-only Facebook group, and there's some other benefits that you get. You can learn about them all over at amp.freetalklive.com. But if you're in the amp-only group, I'm doing some cryptocurrency giveaways just for the amplifiers. So there's free crypto being given out on the Discord forums, or the Discord chat rooms, rather. A lot of it being done in the on-air chat, some of it being done in the cryptocurrency room, and some of it in the AMP room. So head over to amp.freetalklive.com and help us out. Help us get on more radio stations. You can be a part of that, and we definitely appreciate the support. So, Chris, you brought in a story. It's an update on this right to be forgotten. Longtime listeners may recall it was, 2 years ago or something, where there was like a French lawsuit that got brought by some guy who was really upset that people could look his name up on Google and find out things that he didn't want them to find out.
You got a better memory than me in this respect, because I thought they passed a law, and I'm pretty sure they did. They passed a law.
It was based on a lawsuit, as I recall.
Well, you know what? Let me read this story.
They may have passed a law.
They're gonna definitely cover this.
Where's the story from?
Details. So this one's coming from VB. I do not know what that stands for.
Okay.
The title of the story is "Google Wins Fight to Restrict Right to Be Forgotten Ruling to EU Search Engines." So basically, it's no longer the case that, and let's just summarize what it is that the right to be forgotten it means. It basically means that if you're in Europe and you have some criminal history maybe, or something that happened to you and it was in the news and it's no longer relevant, right? You can basically
according to you,
effectively, you can demand that Google, not the publisher, remove the article from their website, but Google remove the link from the search results to the website.
That's right.
So it no longer comes up.
And Google had to obey them. The European courts came down with this ruling, and you say it became a law, and now they are jumping through the hoops.
Right.
And if you want your stuff removed in Europe, they will remove it from their search results. They have to.
Let me read a little bit about what happened, and it might explain a little bit about as far as whether it was a lawsuit or a law. I'm pretty sure it was a law that passed. But Google has won a long-standing battle with the European Union after. My phone just crashed.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let's see if
I can probably pull it up somewhere.
It's back. All right. Google has won a long-standing battle with the European Union after the European Court of Justice ruled the company can limit the scope of the right to be forgotten regulation. So I guess it's a regulation to searches made within the EU. So yeah, I mean, basically what they're saying here is that there's different versions of the Google search engine. Some of them cater to Europe, and some of them cater to.
If you've ever used a VPN,
other countries.
If I connect to the Netherlands, then Google thinks I'm in the Netherlands, and I get that version of Google.
Right. So there's Google.eu, and that's what's going to be the default if you try to go to Google.com in Europe. There's some way to make it show the Google.com version of Google search. But this basically is saying they only have to censor on the Google.eu version of the search.
That's the most horrible thing. How can they do that?
How can the government do that, or Google do it?
It's just the idea to me of pulling down history.
Yeah, it's abhorrent.
The internet is supposed to be an ever-growing database.
Yeah, it's revision. It's literally history, revision of history.
Right.
Yeah.
It
this
really
rubs me the
wrong way as a website content provider. I run freekeen.com. It's a blog that's been in existence since 2006. It catalogs some of the activism that goes on up here. And every now and then somebody will write me an email and they'll say, hey, I'm trying to get a job and I posted something on your website as a comment, but I used my real name and I did it a long time ago. Can you remove that for me? Or it'll be like a former activist, somebody who was up here years ago, and they'll come up, oh, I'm trying to get a job and I don't like the video of me getting arrested with a hat on in the courthouse in Milford. Can you remove that from your site?
Okay, I think that narrows it down to one or two people.
It wasn't Anarcho Jesse. It was the other guy who got arrested for the hat. I forget the kid's name, honestly.
Yeah, I remember him.
He was that, irrelevant. But, it's part of history. And I do not want to remove history. I have gone as far as removing a person's last name because, to me, the individual themselves, like what the kid's exact total name was who got arrested for the hat, is immaterial. The fact that it happened...
it matters if somebody got arrested.
Right. The fact that it happened, that there's video of it, that is important. I'm not going to make that go away.
It seems to me more concerning to me when the government forces some company or, a news site for that specifically. I mean, this is sort of getting around having to censor the news.
Right. It's using the number one tool that everybody uses for searches and controlling the results.
It's extraordinarily dangerous, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is.
It's controlling speech, effectively.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it seems like that will create a lifestyle for search engines where the one that becomes biggest will become the most sued, and then it will become the least useful, and people will move on to the next one.
So basically, it's official, meaning Google and others will only have to delist search results from search engines inside the EU's parameters. The court concludes that currently there is no obligation under EU law for a search engine operator who grants a request for dereferencing, this is how they phrase it, dereferencing, made by a data subject. So I guess that's a person submitting the request to remove
data
the reference.
subject.
As the case may be, following an injunction from a supervisory or judicial authority of a member state to carry out such a dereferencing on all the versions of
what does that mean?
It just makes my skin crawl when they say dereferencing, because dereferencing a pointer is looking down that pointer and seeing what's at the end of it. So when you dereference a phone number when you call it. Okay, a phone number is a reference to you, and when you follow that reference, you're dereferencing it. So it's really annoying.
They're using it differently.
Yeah,
effectively, this means that when you do a search for a particular story, it's not going to come up in your search engine. In Europe, yeah. That otherwise would.
But this is only because Google's based in Europe too, right? This is because they have offices within Europe.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have any jurisdiction.
Correct.
So they could just ignore it safely.
Or they could just remove their offices from Europe.
They could, but keep in mind that they also have censorship filters in Europe at the ISP level. So they could effectively also block Google altogether. If they
that
want
would be so much more honest, and it would be so much harder to lie to the people about what they're doing, because most people will never be aware that news items disappear, or references to news items will disappear. And I've had it happen to me where, I've always had to prove that a particular event went this way by going to the YouTube video, and then, oops, the YouTube video is gone now.
Yeah, the internet's already losing tons of information like on a daily basis just because servers go down, companies fold, things of that nature.
Sure.
So
even if the company stays around, one of their hard drives crashes, and nobody's backing that stuff up.
Or it's just, they think it's irrelevant anymore. Like maybe a great example of this is like old software. Try and do a search for like Palm software. You will find lots of references to Palm software.
Like the Palm Pilot?
Yeah, like Palm Pilot. It's like back in the 90s, but you won't be able to find any of the software. Or a 1990s era computer, right? Nobody thinks, what good is it? Well, somebody who wants to refurbish older computers for historic purposes would want to be able to find the drivers and things, but nope, you can't find them anymore because Dell or whoever doesn't host them anymore. So
hey, check these guys out. You guys have your own show you do. It's called Freedom Decrypted. It's Saturday afternoons starting at 5 o'clock Eastern time.
Tomorrow it'll probably be a little bit later because of the event.
Oh, right. We got 420 tomorrow as well. So it'll be a really interesting
check it out,
edition of Freedom Decrypted at freedomdecrypted.com. Check them out tomorrow evening, and we'll be back tomorrow as well.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,503, silver at $17.62, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,022. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a French model scout alleged to have provided Jeffrey Epstein with minor victims has fled to Brazil as the first official investigation into one of the pedophile's closest associates is underway, according to a report from the Daily Mail. The report states that officials in Paris are investigating model scout Jean-Luc Brunel on charges of rape and sexual assault for crimes that he allegedly committed on French soil, as well as one he may have committed in other countries involving French citizens. Police began their probe shortly after receiving a letter from a former Dutch model who said that Brunel spiked her drink and then raped her in his apartment just days after the teenager moved to Paris and signed with his agency. According to Brunel's accuser, she urged authorities to look into Brunel even though the statute of limitations has run out on her specific claims. Karen Models, which Brunel hasn't been with for a decade, was raided last week by authorities, according to the report. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. As audiences eagerly await the new Joker film, authorities in the United States have sounded the ominous alarm about what they fear may be in store for moviegoers flocking to theaters to catch the premiere on October 4th. A possible mass shooting committed by Incels, or involuntary celibates. The Mind Unleashed reports that on Tuesday, the U.S. Army confirmed that it had widely distributed an advisory to service members about a potential mass shooting during the theatrical release of Joker. According to Stripes, a U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command was issued Monday, warning commanders at U.S. Army Fort Sill in Oklahoma that a law enforcement agency in Texas, working with the FBI, had uncovered disturbing and very specific chatter in the dark web regarding the targeting of an unknown movie theater during the release date on October 4th. U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command Chief of Public Affairs, Chris Gray, said the source of the original information was the Texas Department of Public Safety Joint Crime Information Center. Dr. Bronner's, the organic soap company famous for its charitable efforts, has recently announced a massive donation to an organization in Oregon that's working to legalize psychedelic mushroom-assisted therapy. CEO David Bronner made the announcement at an event in Portland last week, which was held at the Newmark Theater and featured the mycologist and psilocybin advocate Paul Stamets. The Mind Unleashed reports that Bronner announced that his company will be donating $150,000 to the Oregon Psilocybin Service Initiative, a group working on a ballot initiative for the legalization of mushroom-assisted therapy. If the ballot initiative is successful, Oregon residents will have the ability to vote on the measure in the November 2020 election. Denver was the first municipality in the United States to decriminalize possession of psychedelic mushrooms, and the organizers of that successful initiative are working to implement the same strategy in other cities and states. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Like most married couples, Dale and Barbara Patterson like to shake things up from time to time. The couple of 12 years says they've been able to keep their relationship spontaneous and interesting by bickering in all sorts of different positions and even different rooms.
There was a while there when our petty nitpicking got pretty predictable. Dale would finish harping on some stupid bullshit first, and before I had time to get a word in, he would just let out a groan, roll over, and fall asleep. Now he really takes his time ripping me a new one over every little thing.
Maybe we'll just pounce on each other the second we get home from work in the evening. And then just go right back at it in the morning. I mean, sometimes we'll look at each other directly in the eyes when we're having an argument. Other times she turns her back on me and I just scream at her from behind.
We're not exactly shy about doing it in public anymore. Dale gets pretty worked up when there are people around who could be watching or listening.
I still can't believe you forgot.
Not now.
Oh, come on.
I said not now.
Oh,
what?
Don't even.
Don't even what? I asked.
This is the Onion News Network.
I don't mean to sound too nice. No, I am Canadian after all, but... All right, everyone, welcome back. This is Questioning Authority Live. So I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of a second. You know, right in the first fucking month. I'm in the middle of a cold, so at any point my voice could blow out. So I'm gonna try and keep it easy and just go sort of a clip heavy in the beginning. But welcome everyone. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't figure out the title. I have like all these different topics I want to get into, but I want to do I want to do more research on it. And so at one point in the future, I want to do a and I know it's not the best way to start an episode saying what I'm going to do in the future, what I otherwise would have done. But today I just have a mixed assortment of news I want to get into. Or news and topics I want to get into. Not all of it is newsworthy. But I do, in the future, want to get further into mass mind control in particular because, what was it? I've been it's like all starting to make sense, and in my own personal life, you know, seeing the effects of it and doing the research of it, get into that. And also, I found out that Edward Bernays, who's the father of modern mass marketing, is the nephew of Sigmund Freud. So, I mean, okay, you think of that what you will. So I'm going to be getting into that in the future. I really want to get into COINTELPRO with the just this drama regarding the Daily Stormer, which looks like it's died down, but I want to sort of do it in a, which is good because, less people are going to be talking about it, so there'd be more attention when I put out the episode. But first, I want to talk about, I have these these clips I want to get into, and since, I need to go easy on my voice, we're going to be hearing from, from Jones, and I'm just going to play it all in the beginning, and then I'll go to your calls towards the second hour. And this one was very important, right? I said to myself, okay, I pretty much thoroughly exposed Joan. He's just been so thoroughly exposed that it seems redundant to get into this. But with every episode, he says something else. He gives out more disinfo, or in this case, warmongering for Iran. And it's just so dishonest. And I highly suspect he is on some sort of thing in this clip, right? Just like unless that's just his normal behavior. And then otherwise, there's that whole dynamic. And I guess without any without further ado, I got to save up my voice. Let's hear it. So this is from and that was at Friday's episode. I'm just not even listening anymore. Not even listen, because one, I work during the day when his show is on for most of a week, so I'd have to listen to it after the fact in the archive. And most of his shows, I just say look at the guest list, look at the topic list. I'm like, no, all right, it's just almost unlistenable at this point. I'm going to be getting into the title later, too, of this episode, but I'd just rather go through these views. And his last episode was a 2-hour flat Earth debate with Sam Tripoli, who's a total... I'm not even going to call him a shill, just because that implies he's getting money. I don't think he's getting money from the limited information I have from him. He's just an ankle biter of the Joe Rogan crowd, right? He's some guy who decided to sell out all his principles because he wanted to be famous and get on, famous people-controlled hangout shows. And so him and Eddie Bravo had a flat Earth debate for like an hour and a half where we're on the brink of war in the Middle East, and Jones is like, we're going to talk about science for the episode. So anyways, this is, speaking of Middle East, this is from September 16th, and I'm just going to let Jones speak for herself, and I'll comment.
The armies are lining up around the world, ladies and gentlemen, in proxy war. We could talk about that for 10 hours, but I'm going to go to your calls. But these are the times massive world wars start. And we have such a bunch of America-hating boobies and idiots, and we've had so many liars in government lying about wars and lying about WMDs and lying about Gulf of Tonkins and false flags that now, when Iran is working with the deep state and really staging these events, the average American doesn't support the president and thinks he's making it up.
All right, hit pause. Okay, so just imagine Rush Limbaugh said after 9/11, it would say after 9/11, like, well, you have these liberals controlling, the Clintons controlling the government for decades, and the Gulf of Tonkin was faked, and so now when actual Muslims commit a terrorist attack, no one's gonna believe it. This is exactly that situation. So here's him gaslighting his audience, and it only gets worse.
Iran because it's a setup with deep state like Bay of Pigs, understand? Because they're going to be, Jones is a warmonger, works for Israel, he supports an attack. No, I didn't say that. All the people running around saying it's a false flag are wrong. Iran's behind it because they think we're weak, and they've been green-lighted by the globalists to do it, and their whole deal.
So notice he doesn't he doesn't even put over any evidence other than his own speculation, which
the world
go ahead, continue.
Divides. China made the deal with Iran and Obama. Trump is saying we're not China's bitch anymore on trade or military or oil, and it's about us cutting them off, and that's what this is, a proxy war with China.
Okay, actually, hit pause. So I also want to bring this up. This is what conservatives would do. Like whenever Obama had a problem or was doing something that conservatives didn't like, the liberals would, and we're going to get into the left-right paradigm later in the next segment. Liberals would then say, oh, well, it was Bush's fault, even though Bush was out of office for years. And then now anytime something bad happens during Trump's administration, they're like, oh, it was Obama's fault. It's Obama's fault. So, I have to say, it really helps living through 8 years of a liberal presidency and just a few years so far of a, quote, conservative presidency to really understand the left-right paradigm. And I hope more, tech-savvy people my age also are waking up to the fact that both sides are the same. But I'm not too convinced. All right, I think there's a little bit more left to this.
Just moved into Kashmir a month ago and moved up to the border and moved more troops in last week up against the Chinese border.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
We're blocking.
Okay, all right. So he said, and this is also the thing. So I talked about in a previous episode Trump's right-wing takeover plan that India. It didn't just move. It's like when he says, "Oh yeah, they moved up to the Kashmir." It sounds like we're just moving up troops to the border. No, they occupied the Kashmir. It's awful. I mean, I haven't checked in on the situation in a while, but the last we checked in a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago actually to be precise, they had no internet. India just totally controlled the region. So, I mean, that's all right. When Trump's buddy Modi does it, it's fine. But, when the Chinese occupy Tibet or whatever, that's, the Chi-Coms, it's always goes back to the Chi-Coms. It's like a boogeyman. I mean, even though, both economies are, they're symbiotic, right? Both economies are totally dependent on each other. So, and I'm not trying to say the Chinese aren't like a real threat, but I mean, to make it out like, they're the I mean, what Jones is doing is making them the boogeyman to get through all this terrible shit.
China's expansion in the South China Sea. They're at a stalemate in Hong Kong and Taiwan. The Islamists are working with the EU, flooding Europe again. They just removed the Italian leader that was blocking it. This is all proxy wars between the UN, with the EU, radical Islam, the Chi-Coms, Iran, and others against the West and the United States and what's left of us. And Hollywood's in there as their propagandist. And the average American can't even get that. So I'm not for striking Iran. It's a super triple cross deep state setup run by Obama and Kerry and others. Just like Michael Moore bragged 3 years ago they do with Iran. This is the scum we're dealing with. Now that's what's really happening. But it's a real attack. And the ship they grabbed today is real. They admit they grabbed it. So we're in a war with China right now, and the average American doesn't even give a hell. Because people have been put in trance states. When you're shown hundreds of thousands of simulated murders, and when you play video games, you don't take real stuff anymore. When you drive by and see a guy with his head cut off in a wreck, oh, I've seen that before on TV. And it desensitizes you where you can't operate anymore. But the world is on fire right now, literally and figuratively, and there's enemies inside our government and the Federal Reserve trying to drive down our economy right now. And Trump looks like he might be taking the bait, but not in a neocon false flag.
Oh, yeah,
it's a globalist false flag through Iran at the highest levels. That's my analysis. What do you think? Chris, Ryan, Doyle, David, Duncan, Jim, Casey. We're going to go to all of your calls.
All right, anyway, so that was perfect timing, actually, perfect timing. So I know, what drugs do you think he's on before we just...
I have no idea.
All right, this is Question Authority.
That's some crazy shit, though.
This is Question Authority. I'm just getting into it. My voice is starting to heal itself. We'll be getting to more of that. Going to be getting into some Israel news, actually. So I'm in a bunch of other stuff. YouTube news. It's Question Authority. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Besides, we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Question Authority Live. So, as long as my voice holds out, I'm going to still be here, but I'm going to give myself a few more segments to... for it to heal. It's normally, if it wasn't for all the vitamin D and zinc supplements I've been taking, I wouldn't even be here today. I'd just be like, sneezing, all congested. It'd be awful. But I have to work. What was it like yesterday? Yesterday's a Friday. Normally that's my day off because there's no classes on Friday. And I was on my feet for literally 7 hours in a row. Wake up, you immediately go to work, go do things. Anyway, so. I'm just going to, talking about the left-right paradigm, and also in upcoming segments, I'm going to be talking about how Americans are more comfortable with police having facial recognition software than private companies. I'm going to be talking about how apparently brain scans are able to tell how LSD affects the brain. Going to be talking about... A rabbi predicts that God will remove Netanyahu. That's always interesting. We'll be talking a little bit more about mind control theories, Michael Aquino, just getting a little bit to taste for some of the more in-depth broadcasts I want to do in the future. And it's, I'm just putting it off just because I was sick this week. Last week, I had a lot going on last week, sick the previous week, so... Anyway, so now I want to talk about the left-right paradigm, and so I'll play. I'm just gonna let this clip. This clip is from. I think it's. I just want to see what year it's from. 2010. Okay, so geez, man, 9 years ago. Okay, this is a 9-year-old clip. This is 9 years ago.
They wouldn't allow it. Clearly, you know this. I mean, you talk about the left-right paradigm all the time, and I know that you've been long out of that. But now I think we need to encourage people to get out of the government paradigm. The idea that there's some sort of benefit that can come from using coercive violence over other people, and
listen. I understand all that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I appreciate you guys.
He's wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah. What was it? Yeah, he had at the beginning of the interview. I was watching it for old time purpose. He was like praising the porcupine, and anyway, sorry, that was 10 years ago, and then that was obviously Ian and Mark's interview on InfoWars. Haven't been invited back since. Although I do want to see, I mean, I think it's something worth. Like I gotta wait and see, gotta wait until if Jones calls himself a #1 libertarian talk show in the world or in the country or something, because then I think you'd have grounds to challenge him. Ian, you could challenge him to a debate, a tag team debate, him and his young sidekick, Schroyer, and then you, I'm not your sidekick, then, you and me. So I'll go up against Schroyer, you go up against Jones. I think it'd be pretty good. Have Mark go down to Austin with a crowbar and convince him otherwise, and some coke. Or actually, if he doesn't coerce him with a crowbar, he could convince him with a cocaine. I don't know. Like if Jones is on something, it's either meth or cocaine. I think. I'm not accusing him because Jones would accuse AOC of being on drugs. He'd accuse all of these people. He'd defame people. I'm not accusing him. I'm saying if he was on some sort of drug, likely it would be coke or meth. And hey, good for him. I'd probably be having a better show right now if I had either of those substances. But so anyways, there's that. And then here's Jones actually making sense. This is one of the best explanations of a left-right paradigm I've ever heard. And
the current two-party system has been dominated and bought up and controlled by the elite that sits atop it. Now, the elite with a one-party system would not be balanced on top of one party. They would be subject to being toppled, being pushed over easily. But you put the two parties up against each other, they form a royal arch. And now it's very hard to separate those two because they're leaning up against each other. I'm running out of paper. Will somebody bring me another piece of paper? I mean, this is really simple, but I want to...
All right, anyway, so and it's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, if it wasn't for Obama... so, first you have Bush, the right-wing guy. Then you have, everyone hates him after 8 years. Then you have Obama. Everyone hates him in the government after 8 years. Then, when there could have been like a Ron Paul character come in, or, it was like an actual change for people to say, hey, look, this government's out of control. Then suddenly you have a right-wing character who props up the power structure. That was Trump. Everyone says, oh, he's going to be different. It's going to be different this time. And nope, we still have the same thing. It's very little difference compared to under Obama. And so now we've already know, Jones's thing is, it's a Chi-Coms versus the wealthy Israel lobby. And so, he's saying, you got to choose a side. I'm on the side of patriots. So now let's listen to what some of his employees think. So this is Owen Schroyer on Adam Green, debating Adam Green.
Trump being bailed out by the Rothschilds in the early 90s by Wilbur Ross, and now that's our commerce secretary. You don't see that as a problem? $1 billion in debt, and he gets bailed out by the Rothschilds. You don't think he owes them something? And the Rothschilds... I'll tell you what. No, go ahead.
Calm down.
Go ahead. I've talked, so go ahead.
No. You know what? Look, I will say that there is a point to what you're saying right now, perhaps. I will respond to all the other ridiculousness that, honestly, dude, you have no idea how ridiculous those names to throw out there, but that's fine. But dude, let me explain something to you. I mean, you really want to go into the dirt on this.
Absolutely.
You are faced. Let's say that what you're saying is true. Okay, let's just say that's true. So you're basically saying that instead of Trump and Israel wanting to make America rich and sovereign, you'd rather go under Chinese communist rule, which is where we would have been going. Is that what you're saying?
Are you saying that we should play into the two-party system and do the lesser of two evils and ignore all of Trump's Zionist connections?
Did you answer my question?
I'm not going to sit here with hypotheticals.
Anyway, so then Owen Schroyer, and he hosts Jones's afternoon program. Actually, while I have you here, Ian, you know what? You got to, this voluntarist thing, it's not working out. You have two options. You could either go with the communist Chinese who want to put you in a gulag and sell your organs, or you could go with Trump and the Zionists who want to make you rich.
I don't have to choose that.
So you're saying you want to go with the Chinese. So you're saying you support Hillary.
I'm saying I don't support either of them.
Yeah, but you got to choose a
I
side.
voted for
Ian, by
Daryl
not-
W. Perry.
By not, well, gee, that's the worst of three options. By not support.
No, it's not.
Oh, absolutely. By not I'm he's not doing well, so I'm not going to say anything mean about it. But no, I mean, I'm just busting your balls here. I mean,
This Schroyer guy is a slime ball.
Oh, he's not even that. I mean, he'd fit perfectly at the Twinks for Trump with Milo, bathing in animal blood. And there's one more with, I just have one more clip after that with Millie Weaver, where it's even worse. But yeah, Owen Schroyer, this is from, what was the title of a video? What was it? I got it here. No More News Live with InfoWars' Owen Schroyer. I got to give it to Schroyer for agreeing to debate this guy, and he's had him on his show, and so I got to give him that. But it's damage control, right? Because he totally lost this debate. And it's like anyone on InfoWars, unless we're debating incredibly low-hanging fruit, they get absolutely BTFO'd in a debate because they only rest on what Alex says. So they're like, oh, and talking points. They don't do any actual research. It's just like, oh, the Tricoms. Oh, the you support Hillary. Oh, Trump is going to make America great again. And then you say, well, no, actually, Trump has all these Zionist connections for Rothschilds. He's getting bailed out. He's an absolute puppet. And then he has to say, oh, that's ridiculous, assuming it is true. No, it is true. It's mainstream news. No, not that they're always to be believed, but it's official. Anyway, so we're going to get into the last segment, and it gets even worse, right? You haven't seen nothing yet. This is Question Before You Don't Go Away. We'll be right back.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at Crypto